We're gonna make the most incredible super greens falafel. This is a vegan dish with flatbreads, homemade hummus, salad pickles. I wanna celebrate veggies with a meal that you feel excited by. So it all starts with this, chickpeas. So let's just talk hummus. Let's take something we know, but do it better. So in a food processor, I'm gonna put these chickpeas and the juice, and I'm gonna leave about 4 tablespoons in here. Forget this. Then we're gonna go in with some basic seasoning, and then half a garlic clove, some nice olive oil, a nice couple of tablespoons, and then we're gonna go in with peanut butter. That's not classic, right? The classic is tahini. I'm just showing you that you can use peanut butter, right? Unsweetened, by the way. Let's take a lemon full of life. Let's not waste the zest. And then let's get some juice in there. Whiz it up and let's go. You can keep it chunky, or you can keep going to make it really beautifully smooth. So look at that. Really beautiful, very, very quick to do. So make a little well of good oil in there, which is peppery and grassy. And then you can take, you know, a few bits of parsley and sort of embellish it. So, first bit done. Second bit, I'm gonna take 2 tablespoons of the chickpeas and put them into a pan. You can inflict flavor on this in any way you wish to. You can get smoked sweet paprika, delicious. This is dukkha, right, which is a blend of nuts and spices and herbs. So look at this. These are like little flavor bombs. So on our silky, smooth hummus. This is what this kind of little journey's about. Next, our little falafel, right, which is kind of more like a fritter. So in this same food processor, right, I'm gonna add the rest of these chickpeas. What we're then gonna add to that is 150 grams of frozen peas. You've probably got this in your freezer right now. You've probably got chickpeas in a tin somewhere, lonely, in the back of a cupboard, right? Let's have a party, get them out. We need to bind it. So 2 tablespoons of self-raising flour. We're gonna flavor it with some fragrant things. So I want a bunch of mint. The next ingredient is a little kind of surprise ingredient. This is pickled or preserved lemons. You can get them in the supermarkets. Now inside these little lemons, you'll see there's often a few pips. Squeeze them out. You can pulse it and then we're gonna shallow fry it. Delicious. Look at this. I mean, it is the most incredible green color. So we're gonna leave this over here. Now I wanna show you how to make salad pickles. Right, I'm gonna take half of that pomegranate and I'm gonna squeeze it onto our plate here. Then we're gonna hit it up with an acid, so about equal quantities of vinegar. We want it to be pickly. And of course, if you wanted to put a little bit of nice olive oil in there, beautiful. I'm using a red onion. From a height, just sprinkle. We can take a chili. Right, we're talking about color and flavor. Guys, look, let's have you in the party. Hello, welcome to the party. Let's take a cucumber, right? So you can slice this up any way you want. It's about texture, look, feel, fun. And then carrot. You could use a speed peeler. This is a fantastic way to just shave your way into something that's very beautiful. Take a little bit of a mint, giving it a little twist. And then we've got this half of the pomegranates and spank. Boring? No way. I mean, look at the plate. It is beautiful, so how can it not taste beautiful? Now it's time to cook our little falafel. So a little bit of oil in the pan, and we're gonna take a spoon of our mix, get it gnarly and golden, and then when you bust it open, green. Get your spatula over and turn it. If we take a little bit of cumin, it's gonna toast up. It's gonna get smoky. Now we need the edible plate, the bread. This is from a Turkish restaurant, just absolutely beautiful. And you can just warm these up, and they're fantastic. You can tear them up. What a joy.
Bash up some pistachios for extra protein and texture.
Look at that, I mean, look at the color.
Add a few dashes of chili sauce to a bowl of soya yogurt for ooziness and a kick of spice.
Enough talking, let's plate this up. We're gonna take our base, our foundation, hummus. We're gonna get some of these beautiful pickles and just let that rain down. And then we're gonna take some of these falafel. Pistachios, bit of a sprinkle up. Get some of our chili. It's gonna just give it a nice moisture. And if you wanna finish with a few herbs. But that, my friends, It's like a painter's palette, it's full of colour. Hallelujah. There's so many flavours going on there. It's creamy, it's hot, it's tangy, it's crunchy. It's got that comforting fritter, but it's so full of flavour. Delicious. Now I'm going to show you a beautiful homemade warm salad with shredded Brussels sprouts, bacon, spinach, sliced orange, an amazing dressing and homemade croutons. Come on. It's beautiful, delicious, and it's really fun to make. So let's do this. Get yourself a pan on. We're going to use, for the beginning of the flavour, bacon. And you don't have to go mad on the bacon, right? So we want to make them healthier. So that's also about restraint. So 4 slices is all we need, and just slice it up as fine as you can. So what we want to do is get that crispy. I'll add that to the pan, and immediately that'll start crispening up. Add a little olive oil to the pan and just move it all around. It already smells amazing. At the heart of this dish is the crouton. So a clever little healthy swap is to make your own crouton, because we can trade up from white bread to like a mixed seed brown bread, right? So you get more fibre, more goodness, and more flavour, honestly. So if you get like 3 centimetre slices, just try and slice this up into like centimetre-ish cubes. We're going to use this bread to make the best croutons ever. So if you look in the pan now, the bacon's getting lightly golden. Take these croutons and just sprinkle these in. We'll give it a nice little shake. We're not going to rush this, right? We're going to kind of take about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes on a medium heat. Just keep moving it, tossing it around, getting it golden, crisp, and delicious. So they're going to blow your mind, okay? So let's get onto the Brussels sprouts. What you can do is just cut your Brussels sprout in half, put this onto its flat edge, then we can just rock chop and go as fine as you can. And that's going to give you a completely different texture, more like a slaw. Now, if you're worried about your knife skills, don't worry. Use a food processor, and literally in seconds, you just basically done. So we have our beautiful Brussels sprouts. For the people that are not converted yet, with a little bit of helping hand from the world's best croutons, it's gonna be so, so good. People will fight for it, I promise you. So next, we're gonna do a lovely dressing. So, so simple. First and foremost, extra virgin olive oil. And then I'm gonna go in with some nice balsamic, delicious, about a tablespoon. Baby spinach, beautiful. We could actually just put the Brussels sprouts in raw, and I actually love it. But what I quite like to do in this recipe is just soften them a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is just get these croutons and just shake them to one side like that, and put these beautiful Brussels into the pan. Give them a little mix around, and a little bit of heat for 2 or 3 minutes just softens them, makes them a pleasure to eat, and makes them cling onto the dressing in the most beautiful way. This dressing and this salad is gonna come together beautifully. The last bit is the oranges. Just get a bit of that lovely orange zest for later. And this is a fantastic garnish, but it's beautiful and it smells incredible. And then what I'm gonna do, I'll peel it and then gorgeous little slices, thin as you can. You can lay that around our plate here. Back to the pan here, take all of this into here, and this is why it's called a warm salad, right? So we need a little bit of speed. I'm gonna put this back on the heat. There's one last thing I wanna do, and that's introduce some hazelnuts. A handful, just to wake up the flavor. It's gonna be amazing. So while they're toasting, just get into a nice big bowl, get your hands in there, and give it a proper dress. Do not let any leaf or bit of Brussels go undressed, okay? That is the joy of a good salad. Look at that. Nice and quick, so you don't cook the spinach. So it's a big, tasty, substantial salad. And then I'm gonna take these beautiful toasted hazelnuts, I'll whack them in a little pestle and mortar, bash up the hazelnuts, and we're literally gonna let it rain down the little bits of orange zest. That, my friends, is a properly tasty salad. Crispy bacon, homemade croutons, Brussels with lovely spinach, orange and balsamic. Gorgeous. Let's get in there. I know this is gonna be amazing. Those croutons are insanely good. Come on, little boy. This way, follow me. We're gonna do some cooking, let's go.
Sometimes you want a recipe that is so unbelievably simple, where you can just whack it in the oven, let the oven do all the hard work, and then 5 minutes of love and care brings you something that's really delicious and full of life and colour. And I'm going to do the most beautiful warm aubergine salad, and I want to show you how to make a beautiful homemade pesto to dress this whole salad, and particularly the aubergines. Honestly, this is the easiest thing to cook. You just got to understand it. It's one of my favourite vegetables. So what I'm trying to achieve here is a texture that is kind of meaty and moorish and really silky and elegant, and something that can take on flavour. And the great news is I can do that with the easiest method ever. Take 2 aubergines, put them on a tray, whack them in an oven for about 50 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius in a standard oven, right? This wood oven is good to go. Straight in there, let the oven do all the hard work, and we'll get some salad. So look, I've got some round lettuce, some oak leaf. You know, I've grown these, but the little bags you get from the supermarket, the mixed bags, can be very good these days. For me, the idea of a salad is to be joyful and celebrate the moment, right? So yes, we've got herbs here, we've got basil, and then you've got things like the flowers, nasturtium. So this, if you eat it, is fresh. Then you get pepper, quite a lot of pepper, and then it calms down, and then you get peaches and apricot. This really will help your everyday salad be something beyond spectacular. And even when it comes to things like a courgette, you've got the lovely flowers here, which you can tear off, and they're very polleny and delicious. Very important to not only wash your salad, but give them a good old whip and get rid of all of that water. If you want a nice dressing to stick to your salad leaves, then you want to give them a little dry. All nice and dry, that's ready to go. Right, now let me show you how to make the pesto. Honestly, this is going to be like the best thing ever for this salad. Now, pesto, of course, is a fantastic Italian paste. Actually, pesto meaning paste can be many, many things, many different cheeses, herbs, nuts, and actually it's not just the Italians that do it. Many, many countries around the world have their version. So I want to take inspiration from Greece. So lemon, I'm going to take feta, I'm going to take beautiful almonds, honey for sure, olives, you know, very Mediterranean. We're going to take herbs, it could be parsley. I'm going to go for a little bit of mint. All we have to do is bring it together. And the best old-fashioned way to do it is in a pestle and mortar. You could use a food processor, for sure. So get your mint stalk, loosely grab it, pull it off. You could easily use different herbs, basil, you could use parsley with great effect. I'm going mint today. I'm just feeling it with the feta cheese. This is going to be quite a rustic, rough pesto, not super smooth. So I'll take a little handful of almonds. I'm going for unpeeled. You could use pine nuts, you could use pistachios if you want. I'm going to take a lemon, and if you've washed it, you can get a fine grater and just put that zest in there like that. Good. Into here, I'm going to add a tablespoon of beautiful honey. So the sweetness will riff off of the acidity from the lemon. Squeeze the lemon juice out, and I'm kind of putting my hands inside here and just bringing out all of that pulp. I want that in there. And then I can use just a little bit of feta, kind of almost like a seasoning instead of a cheese. And then olive oil. Olive oil will just help you translate all of those flavours into the most beautiful pesto. Last ingredient to go is some olives. I want to add about 8 olives, green and black. And if you want delicious olives, buy the ones with the stones still in them. And you literally just squeeze it and just simply take that seed out. And that way, you'll have the most juicy, fragrant, lovely olive going. So we'll go from the pestle here to a spoon. Oh, wow. That tastes amazing. Wow. Woo! Sweet, sour, salty, full of fragrance. Wowee, that is really good. A little bit more feta just sprinkled on top. And that, my friends, is a good job done. So that is the paste. This will dress the salad leaves and, most importantly, embellish the amazing aubergine. So let's have a look at the aubergine. Now, you know, for an aubergine recipe, we haven't really done much with it, right? All we've done is whack it in the oven. So I'll just cut this in half. Now, if you look inside here, you know, some people say it's like caviar, right? Look at the little seeds. Look how soft and silky this is. So this is what we're going to dress up. Now, if you wanted to remove the skin, you could. I quite like it. It's got a charredness to it that I absolutely adore. Hello, mate.
I got my bike.
You got your bike, okay.
I'm stuck.
Let's do a wheelie. Woo!
Dad.
Right, off you go. Julesy, come and see what I'm doing. So, I'm actually making this for lunch.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I love aubergine. Where are you going to eat today? Outside?
Yeah. All right, babe. See you later.
See you later.
So look, I know I probably got a bit overexcited, but if you're just using a bag of salad and you're whacking that in the oven for an hour, right, that pesto is the only thing you do, right? That is like 3.5, 4 minutes work. So this is the quickest, most delicious, exciting little lunch, dinner, really, really nice. So let's plate it up. Get your nice bed of salad like that. Then I'm gonna take one of these, see how juicy that is, right? So that's the method of cooking. So simple, yet so good. And that's when you get mega flavour. Flavour that goes on and on and on. Just finish that with a couple of little, you know, mint or basil leaves. Take a tiny little bit of feta and a kiss of olive oil. Look at that. Now, the one thing that I'd like to quickly make to go next to that is the simplest little flatbread, which I think with this is going to be absolutely amazing. Tearing up bread, getting chunks of the aubergine, the pesto, bosh, it's going to be so, so good. Using self-raising flour. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of flour, like that, heaped. And then we'll do the same of yogurt, right? And we'll bring this together as a dough. If it's a little bit wet, you can add a little flour. If it's a little dry, you can add a little bit more yogurt. So just move it around with your spoon, and when it gets almost too hard, then you can take that out and use your hand. And you basically just don't want it to be sticky. It's a little 2-minute wonder that's so fun, so easy. You know, sometimes you need something good quick, and that's it, my friends. And all I do now is just take a little bit of flour, rub that into a board, like this, and I'll just roll it out. And I haven't actually got a roller, I'll just use my pestle, but anything you want. Nice and thin, use a wine bottle, you know, or a rolling pin. Now, what you can do is embellish this with other beautiful things. So if we just took a little bit of garlic, for instance, and just slice that up, nice and thinly, we make our version of a garlic bread, right? So let's take a little bit of black pepper. Happy days. Let's take a herb. I think I'm feeling a little bit of thyme. Just put some thyme flowers on there. We can even do a little bit of rosemary. Roll it out so the herbs and garlic become part of the actual bread, and they will cook into one another. Super beautiful. Look at that. I mean, that is a picture. And that's it. And then I will just get it in there like that. There we go. So straight away, that's puffing up. In a normal oven, it would take maybe 4 minutes until golden. The hotter, the better. So there we go. A lovely little flatbread. Now I kiss it with oil. And that is a thing of beauty. Look at that. So good. Let's have a little try. Right. I'm gonna nick a bit without Jules noticing. So look at this. We've got the aubergine there. We've got the pesto. Let's put it on the flatbread. Squash it in. Wow. The beautiful olives. The feta, the nuts. Look at that. It's just a gorgeous little mouthful. Honestly, truly, the texture of the aubergine is so velvety, it's so silky, it feels substantial. And what's really nice is because the aubergine is still warm with the cold salad, you get that contrast. Oh, Jules is here. Right, look at that flatbread.
It's good.
So, do you go and have this now?
Yeah.
Just have it picnic style. Properly to share.
Can I take the olives with me?
Yeah, you take the olives. So there you go. Next time you go past those aubergines in the supermarket, give them a little wink, get them home, get them in the oven for 15 minutes, and make that pesto. Honestly, you won't regret it. Come on, buds. Come on, Jules. Right, let me do you a nice little wodge. You like it, buds?
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's really nice because it's very summery.
See in the flatbread, look. If you tear it up, see how that little pocket?
It's like a pita.
Yeah. I like putting the little salad in there.
A fast food favourite, but not as you know it. My tofu burger, stacked with cheese, pickles and homemade sauce on a bed of crunchy rainbow salad.
Tofu is great value, really high in calcium, protein, and low in fat. You want to remove about 4 tablespoons of liquid.
Losing some of the water content ensures lovely crispy edges when the tofu cooks. Add about 75 grams of wholemeal breadcrumbs and crack in an egg.
We're going to use flavouring from an old friend. You'll either love it or hate it. So I want 2 teaspoons of Marmite. And that's the great thing about tofu, it's a great carrier of flavour. You know, the Marmite gives it that lovely savouriness, which I like. But at the same time, you could swap Marmite out and put pesto in. You could use harissa instead, miso. Have fun with it, make it your own. This recipe is a good base.
Once it's evenly mixed, shape into 4 patties and it's time to cook them. I've got an amazing tip that's going to add loads of warm herbal flavour and more crunchy texture to my burgers.
Rosemary, when it gets fried in oil, incredible things happen. It kind of turns into like little crisps.
Lay your patties on top of the rosemary, and now it's time to knock up a vitamin-packed homemade ketchup with no sugar.
We need about 8 lovely ripe tomatoes. Fresh is cool. Of course you can do this with tin tomatoes if you want, but fresh, ripe tomatoes are going to give you that kind of sunshine vibe.
Chop up the tomatoes, add to the pan, and then season with salt and pepper.
Definitely I like a little bit of spice. So a tiny bit of chili sauce or some dried flakes of chili here. And then what other things make a kind of ketchup work? Acidity, that sort of piquance. So red or white wine vinegar, about a tablespoon. So we're not going to add sugar because I think you can get a lovely result, a fresh result with the natural sugars that are in these tomatoes right now. That's why they've got to be ripe.
Tear in some fresh basil.
And you can see this is getting thick already. So what we'll do is, as it's cooking, we'll just use a potato masher to break the sauce. But look how quickly that's happening.
Flip your burgers, cooking them for 3 minutes on each side.
So look at these. I mean, they're looking really good. Great colour, crispy, soft, and sort of nice in the middle. Kind of quite excited about that.
Next, classic burger territory, cheese. To add calcium, but also I want to keep it light on calories.
50 grams is all we need. So to complete this meal, we want to kind of do a hybrid of a slaw come salad, come kind of shred vibe going on.
Eating a wide range of colours will provide a spectrum of superfood nutrients. So I'm using all sorts of crunchy veg, sliced, chopped, ribboned, and for some real retro fun, crinkle cut.
Yay! This reminds me of an 80s perm. I don't know why. And once we've done that, let's just get in there, mix it up, and kind of let it just all look gorgeous. Let's just create a massive bed of goodness and colour.
Next, a dressing for my salad. Plain live yoghurt, good for your digestion. A handful of basil, Dijon mustard, and a splash of white wine vinegar.
You want that twang in there. Some salt, just a little bit, and chilli, about half a chilli, just to give it a little rumble of spice.
whiz it up until smooth, and drizzle it over your rainbow salad. Time to build your brilliant burgers. I'm using wholemeal buns, on average double the fibre of white. Covered in that tangy tomato sauce with your cheesy tofu patty resting on top. And no burger is complete without pickles.
Just 2 or 3. And then the lid. So look, there you go. Really healthy, totally balanced. We've got all of those elements. We've got carbohydrates, protein, fruit, veg, and dairy. Yeah. The tomato sauce is delicious. Texture in there, it's soft on the inside, crispy on the outside. That, my friend, with the salad, unbelievable. Something a little bit different and really delicious. And quite messy. Greek-inspired crispy Filo tart with spinach, feta cheese and cheddar. Beautiful flavour, but dead simple. For you to be able to do in under half an hour that looks like you've been cooking for hours. First job, pine nuts. 100 grams, straight into your pan on a kind of medium-high heat. Toast them up, just takes a minute. For the rest of the pie filling, 5 eggs, 300 grams of feta cheese. I'm going to use 50 grams of cheddar cheese because it does give the whole dish a kind of really nice gooey ooziness. Season it up with pepper, a little bit of salt. We've got the feta in there, so go easy. You can see over here the nuts. They're pretty perfect now. So I'm just going to take them off the heat. And I'm using some nice flour and oregano. The normal stuff is fine too. Just give it a little scrunch. About a teaspoon of that goes in. Get a fork and roughly mix it up. Put these pine nuts straight in here. This can go back on the heat and then mix it up. And then straight on to the spinach. Put some olive oil, just a couple of tablespoons, in a pan. And it takes 40 seconds to wilt it down. A little bit of seasoning and 10 little rubs of nutmeg in there. Once it's wilted down a bit, have a little go at the other bag. It looks like it's too much for the pan, but it will totally wilt down. The zest of 1 lemon goes in. Just a little knob of butter. That's nice. Look, you completely wilted it down now. Get some greaseproof paper. Run it under a tap. Scrunch it up in a ball. Then you've got something that's really soft, more like a handkerchief. Work straight onto here, and then put a little olive oil. With this Filo pastry, it's very thin, it doesn't need loads of cooking, but of course the reason it's so damn brilliant is because it goes crispy. You want to create an area of pastry bigger than the pan, so you've got sides and a sort of a lid. So almost half as big as the pan again, and I'm going to cook it, by the way, in this pan. So I'm only using 1 pan to fry, 1 pan to cook in. I'm just going to lay this pastry in and around, put 4 sheets down, and then put a little olive oil. Pat it like this. I've got some nice sweet cayenne pepper here, and then repeat the layers. The quicker you are, the better. And we'll do about 3 or maybe 3.5, 4 layers. So we've got the pastry. Get all of that spinach quickly into that egg mixture. You can give it a little wipe out if you want. Just bring the pan over here, pick up the greaseproof paper, and drag it over like that. And then you can push it in. And then with this spinach here, mix this up and just pour it in. Maybe a little extra cheese just on the top, like that. I want you to get the pastry and pull it back over itself. Ultimately, we're making a beautiful pie that would normally take certainly an hour to cook, and we're doing it in under half an hour, so we need to be clever. And what's lovely about this is even if you're a raving idiot, like me, even if you do it badly, and it tears or anything like that, if it's wrong, it's right. Tear off this paper, round here. And in the cooking, it will carry on protecting that pastry. We're going to put it on that high heat for about 2 minutes, just to get that pastry crisp. You can sort of see round here, you're just starting to get crispiness. Grab just a little bit of rosemary and put it around this lovely tart here. We're going to bang that in the oven for about 20 minutes. It's going to be good. It just comes off like that. It's beautiful. An epic, epic tart. Get yourself a nice big knife, stab it in there, take it to the table. The fact that as you cut it, it goes crunch, crunch, crunch. All your guests will be going absolutely mad.
Down in Southend, our cafe has a menu board brimming with dishes for you to try this weekend.
And getting his laughing gear around some delicious food is a liver-puddling legend, comedian John Bishop.
He's popped down to learn how to make his favourite comfort food, a veggie lasagna. Then he'll have to cook it up for all of the diners.
Okay, so let's cook together. This is lovely. So the beginning of the story is the veg, obviously, because this is the veggie lasagna, which is an amazing, beautiful thing. And actually, in Italy, they make veggie lasagnas all the time, and it's nothing to do with eating meat or not eating meat.
Yeah.
It's just delicious.
John's love of veggie lasagna is based on his mate Jane's recipe, so we've secretly spoken to her, and also his wife, to find out all his favourite ingredients to help create his ultimate dish.
We have looked at the lovely Jane's recipe, and we've looked at the flavours she's playing off, and I'm trying to sort of gain flavour with a few techniques. So the first bit of flavour is these herbs.
This bundle of bay, rosemary and thyme will infuse the oil and give his lasagna its first layer of flavour. Then add diced onions, carrots and celery, and slowly cook down for about 20 minutes.
I always feel a pressure to get boiling, get stewing quickly, but when they do the opposite.
That's what I'm always getting told.
What, rushing?
Yeah, yeah.
Is this about cooking or something else?
No, it's my wife telling me, but it's always about cooking.
Okay.
It's always about cooking. I'm always looking for the end product rather than the process.
Once the veg is softened, go in with a glass of another of John's favourite things, red wine, and reduce. Then it's in with a tin each of cannellini and borlotti beans, and 2 tins of tomatoes and water. Next is my second technique to give John's lasagna a turbo boost of flavour.
So you like aubergine, right?
I do like aubergine.
So a lot of Brits struggle to cook this. The Mediterraneans go nuts for it. And I just want you to burn it. Absolutely burn the living daylights out of it.
You mean just put it straight on the
Straight
hob?
on a gas or a barbecue.
I thought you just put it down. We were going to do something with it after.
No, I'm burning it.
You're cooking it, aren't you?
Yeah. And this skin is protecting it. And inside, you're going to get this incredible, soft, silky, smoked, charred aubergine. So I just want to, like, get the flavour in there and just make it, like, the best veggie lasagna ever. That's what we're trying to fight for.
Turn and blacken all over, and leave to cool in a covered bowl. And what you're left with is a double pleasure, the most amazing juice.
This is absolute gold. Don't throw that away. And you see, it's almost syrupy.
Yeah.
And soft, smoky aubergine.
And in it goes. And now we're on another level.
For yet another flavour and texture dimension, I want chunks of squash sprinkled with fennel seed, which will roast in the oven alongside the ragu for an hour.
So, next bit.
Hang on, can you just say that bit again? Just walk past and go, good cooking, mate. I just want to save it as my ringtone.
We've already made a hearty bean and veg ragu and roasted some butternut squash. Now, instead of bechamel, I've created a special sauce for John, celebrating his love of mushrooms.
So we've got lovely chestnut mushrooms. We've got chanterelle, or girole, as they call these. We've got bluets, really nice. There's 3 types of chopping. Cross chopping,
Yeah.
rock chopping, and tap chopping.
I finished chopping the mushrooms for John, which are then added to a hot pan, along with olive oil, rosemary, garlic and thyme.
You know what's striking me about this is the smells.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. Can you smell this? Is that smell wafting over to you? It's lovely, isn't it?
To really make this mushroom sauce sing, I've rehydrated some dried porcini mushrooms in a mug of boiling water, creating a really rich, savoury liquor, which also goes in, along with creamy creme fraiche.
It's the easiest little sauce ever. A little bit of salt and pepper, and a little bit of parmesan goes in there. And in 1 minute, that'll be done. Try that, me old mate. Yes, you see.
That is great.
With all the elements made, we can now simply layer them up in a nice baking dish, in between sheets of fresh pasta, with a scattering of spinach and torn up chunks of gorgeous roasted squash.
Now we're going to go completely bonkers for that sauce. So just pour it all over me, old mate.
Oh.
And then we'll finish that with some cheddar and some parmesan. And one of the things that Jane does that's very important is cherry tomatoes.
Cherry tomatoes.
So I've got
well
some
done,
cherry
yeah.
toms from my garden.
And that's the lasagna done. Ready to be cooked for 45 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 degrees Fahrenheit, until golden and bubbling.
Oh, look at that. Where do you want it?
Right there, my friend.
Look at that, look at that. Yeah. I feel like I've just given birth to a baby.
Yeah. OK, I think it's time. Enough talking. Let's do some eating.
Look at that.
Look at that.
You pleased?
I am. You know, this has got everything that I love.
To finish the dish, I'm adding a good dollop of another of John's favourites, homemade green pesto.
Whoa.
That is lovely. That is really lovely. Because it is comfort food, as I say, it's everything I love. It's mushrooms, it's cheese, it's pesto, it's tomatoes. It's just beautiful.
How does this compare with Jane's?
Nearly as good.
Yeah, I know. So imagine you've just done a big gig at the O2, you come home, that's what you want to come home to.
I do like sex. Right, no, you're right. This is what you come home to. This is your treat. This is the bit that makes you feel you're at home. Boys, this has been an experience. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, of all the telly shows I've done, this is the telly show that's probably going to change the way I live my life the most.
Really?
But, honestly, because I've had food all my life, obviously, but I've never really appreciated the process. But being in here and feeling the way that the passion that you feel for it and the result that it shows, it's worth it.
Come on, then.
There we go. What a treat.
Here we go.
That's beautiful. Darn good. So tasty. John's done well. See, the mushrooms are delicious in here as well.
I'm not doing it next time, John can do it.
They are liking your food. I tell you what, you have knocked it out the park.
And you've inspired that, by the way.
I don't think vegetarian food gets much better than that. That's proper comfort
Damn right.
food.
Guys, how good was that lasagna? Come on. Everyone, John Bishop! Guys, hope you're well. OK, I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious all-in-one veggie pasta, full of the good stuff. 4 of your 5 fruit and veg a day in one dish. Turn this pan on. We're going to go in with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. I'm going to be heroing sweet peppers. Just give them a little wash. And simply stick your thumb, right, like that, and then tear it apart. And then what we'll do is take out the stalk and the seeds and any of the kind of white seedy parts and just put that to one side. So just carefully slice up all the peppers. We'll go into the pan here. So in we go. Look at that, look at the colour. Get yourself a little spoon, give it a mix up, and then on to the next veg. So a couple of nice red onions, you could use white onions, peel those, take the ends off, half them, and then we're going to finely slice them. Get those lovely red onions into the pan. So 2 veg down. Next up, get your courgettes, take the ends off, and then cut them in half. Again, sort of finely sliced. As you prep each vegetable, you're just adding it into the pan like that. So next up, garlic. And for this recipe, 4 cloves of garlic. This is going to be absolutely delicious. What I want to do now is cook it down to caramelise and concentrate and go delicious. And then last but not least, I want to prep some of this stuff, basil. What we have here is beautiful leaves and the stalk. So I'm going to take the leaves off the stalk, put it to one side, and then these stalks I'm going to put to the other side, and I'm going to use all of it. Just finely slice the stalks, and that will go in as well. So we're absolutely wasting nothing. And now what it really needs is time. Just kind of give it a stir every now and again. So that is going to be beautiful. Now here, for this lovely basil oil, simply take the basil and put it in a pestle and mortar. So I'll just take a little pinch of salt into the basil, smash it up, and then in 30 seconds, you can just let it down with oil. So put that to one side. And look, all we have to do now is give this a stir every couple of minutes. £1 wonder coming your way. It's had 20 minutes. You can see the colours have concentrated and got caramelised. It's shrunk down. So now's the fun bit. It all comes together now. So I've got 250 grams of lovely cherry tomatoes. These I've just washed and I'm going to put in whole. I said it was a £1 wonder. So in here, we're going to go in with 300 grams of the pasta shells, then go in with 800 millilitres of water, and then we're just going to stir it through. Very importantly, give it a season with salt and pepper, mix it, and then put the lid on top, and we'll cook that for the same amount of time as it says on the packet of pasta, about 10 or 12 minutes, then I'll show you what to do next. So this has had 10 minutes, and the pasta shells have only sucked up the gorgeous tastiness from the veggies. And I'm gonna use 4 tablespoons of this cottage cheese in here. I'll stir this through and just let those little curds warm up a little bit. So I'd serve that in the middle of the table. A few of those basil leaves I'll just put in and around the pan like that. So then put the basil oil through the pasta. So guys, look at that. That's a really nice, easy one-pan comfort food dish, packed full of the good stuff. Properly tasty. Let's have a little try. Fresh, full of lovely veggie flavour. You've got those curds of lovely cottage cheese that are in there, and that hit, that perfume of the basil oil is fantastic. Now look, I love it in the middle of the table with a pan, just help yourself. If you can, dress it up a little bit and put it on a platter and then just pour it in. Look at the colour. Maybe just grab a few more basil leaves, a kiss of olive oil, 1 pan veggie pasta. I know you love lasagna, and this one's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to take some of the pain away, some of the preparation away. No white sauce, no layering.
This is my easy peasy scruffy aubergine lasagna with a gorgeous sweet tomato sauce topped with crispy sage leaves and almond crunch. Delicious.
So let's do this. One of the things that we do badly in the UK is cook this. I don't know why. Everyone in the Mediterranean is celebrating it, but I don't want it to be kind of like woolly and sort of spongy. I want it to be creamy and sort of substantial and pull in flavour. And I really think that this method you're going to love. So first up, we'll just nip off the ends and then split in half. I want about 250 mils of water. Let's get it on a medium-high heat. And then I want 3 onions. You can break these little quarters up if you want. And the first part of this recipe is steaming. And the steaming is going to make the onions and the aubergine soft and silky and delicious and ready to take on flavour.
And for that, we're going to use 6 cloves of garlic, a bit of lemon zest, and a de-seeded dried chilli for some background heat.
And then I want to get some herbage. Now, you could use so many different herbs. I want to use sage on this one. This is a purple sage. Get a nice little kind of wodge of that. And then here is your classic green sage. So give them a nice little wash. And this is going to give the most incredible, fragrant, savoury flavour. Let's have a look at what's going on in here. So the onions and the aubergine have completely changed texture. They're soft. And as this excess water starts to sort of cook away, you can hear the sounds in the pan change, right? You can hear it begin to sort of dry fry. Push all the veggies to one side.
Then go in with 3 tablespoons of olive oil, then those fragrant flavours, the garlic, lemon and chilli, and about half the sage.
As I push this around, there's sticky bits on the bottom that are like the concentrate. See that on the end of the spoon? It looks like rubbish, it looks like mess, but that is deep, deep, delicious flavour.
Now we've fried, you can add the wet stuff. Squish up 2 tins of beautiful plum tomatoes and refill the cans with water. In it goes.
And in the next 20 minutes, while that simmers and blips away beautifully, all that caramelisation on the bottom will come off and flavour that sauce.
We're going to want some crunchy toppings with this, guys, so bash up 50 grams of almonds and rub the remaining sage leaves with a little olive oil.
And then when that bakes on top of the lasagna, it makes the most incredible, almost like savoury crisp. I haven't seasoned yet, and there's a reason for that, because I'm going to use 2 cheeses for this. I'm using a cheddar and a beautiful Parmesan. You can get hard cheeses that are vegetarian in the Parmesan world. Cheddars, they're all over the place. Have a little look.
Whatever you use, 80 grams of each will do.
So let's turn the heat off now. If you have a look at the bottom, can you see how that's completely clean? So the flavour has now gone into the sauce. And now we can go in with that blend of Parmesan and cheddar, mix that through, and it should go oozy. Okay, so I'm going to use 300 grams of fresh lasagna sheets, and all I'm going to do is literally tear them up, right, into sort of odds and sods. And I'm not going to layer it up. I'm not going to get uptight and sort of do an architectural thing. I said it was scruffy, right? And it's going to be scruffy. So almonds on top. Last but not least, those oil rub sage leaves. In the oven it goes for 25 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 Fahrenheit. And what's going to happen in there is pure deliciousness. Let's have a look. Come on! Look at that. Beautiful. It's gone gnarly, it's blipping away, it smells absolutely incredible.
And it'll work a treat with a bit of salad.
Right, here we go. So get in there with a nice big wodge. Oh my Lord. It's amazing. I think it's a really fun alternative to your regular lasagna. Glass of wine, bit of salad, nice company, happy days. A beautiful carbonara pasta. Yes, I know it normally has smoky bacon, but I have a beautiful veggie version with sweet leeks.
And I'm amplifying the sweetness in an utterly decadent, luxurious sauce.
This is a family favourite in my home, and I want to show you how to do it. So it starts with 2 leeks. By concentrating on the white part of the leeks, what we're going to do is get a whiter sauce and a really sweet, deep flavour. So just strip it down the middle and give it a nice wash. Finely slice it. And by taking the care to make them nice and fine, they're just going to cook in a more delicate way, and they'll wrap around our spaghetti in the most beautiful way.
Get a pan on a medium heat, add a tablespoon of olive oil, a knob of butter, 4 sprigs of thyme, and 4 finely sliced cloves of garlic.
Then go in with the leeks, give it a season with salt. Let's have a stir up. I don't want to achieve any colour. What I do want to do is achieve some incredible sweetness and depth of flavour. So what I need to do is pretty quickly stop this frying. And I'm going to do that with some water, 400 millilitres, and then we'll turn the heat down to low. A lid goes on top, and we're going to let that just gently, gently tick over. It will get sweet and delicious, and it's that easy.
Leave for 40 minutes until silky and soft.
Can you see how it's cooked down? That will be perfect to wrap and coat the pasta. Now we're going to cook a bunch of spaghetti. Spaghetti, of course, is the classic pasta that goes with carbonara. We're going to salt this water, cook the pasta according to the packet instructions, 10 minutes here. So I need to do the egg part of the sauce. Traditionally, you'd use just the egg yolk, but I'm going to use the whole egg because I just don't want to waste it. Beat the egg up like that. And then we need to add and grate in the cheese. I'm going to use Parmesan, but, you know, this isn't vegetarian, OK? It's got rennet in it, which is from an animal product. But if you have a look around, you'll see hard cheeses that are vegetarian.
So grate in 50 grams and mix it up.
And then I just want to take a little moment to take stock, right? We've got the sauce here, right? It's perfect, big flavour. Turn the heat off now. And I want to steal some of that lovely starchy cooking water. Now, I'm going to add a little bit of that to the Parmesan and the egg, and that's just going to loosen it up, and it gives you beautiful silky sauce. Drain the pasta and go into our leeks. We'll toss this together, and you just want the heat to calm down a little bit. If I add that egg and Parmesan straight away, it will start to scramble, and that's not cool. So, when the pan's cool down a little bit, we'll go in with the Parmesan and egg, and then we want to move really fast, okay? we want to keep agitating it like this. Look how creamy that is, come on. Amazing. Let's plate this up. Just roll it around in that sauce. And you can see like the leeks have almost cooked into nothing. They surround the pasta completely, but you can't even see it. And here we go, over to the plate. And then hit it quite generously with the black pepper. It gives it that classic flavour. A little Parmesan, and just a kiss of extra virgin olive oil. Right, let's try some of this. Look at that. The sweet leeks are off the chart. What I like is we've taken the humble leek, a vegetable that's often not celebrated, and it's just simple but delicious, quite luxurious. This is a really beautiful breakfast, brunch, lunch, snack. It's full of colour, full of the good stuff, and it's really, really delicious. Stand back for my quick super spinach pancakes. With egg, veg, cheese and chilli, it's an exciting start to the day your taste buds and body will thank you for. So first up, let's make the pancake batter, and it's a really simple recipe. We're not using any scales at all. We're going to go in to a liquidizer with 1 egg, and then we want 1 cup of milk. Fill it up to the top. In we go. Next, some organic self-raising flour, and fill that right to the top. This will be enough pancakes for 6. A nice pinch of salt. And then to colour it and flavour it, we're going to use spinach. So a bag of spinach, just stuff it right to the top like that. Give it a whiz. 100 grams of baby spinach adds a great punch of vitamin K, helping to maintain our bones. And the colour is absolutely incredible. So look, as soon as that's nice and smooth, let's think about our topping. So what I want to kind of do is sort of lay it out like a little bit of a pick and mix. So what we got here is some nice cherry tomatoes, little quarters and halves. Then I'm thinking beautiful coriander. So we'll get that stuffed in there. We got more spinach. And then I love avocado. It is a delicious texture. Lime, put some wedges here, and then I'll squeeze just a little bit onto my avocado. And then just slice that. Then we want some spring onions, and we got some cottage cheese. So let's make the first pancake. We got the pan on a medium heat. Then I want to add just a little olive oil, and then I want to wipe it out, and that's just going to make sure that nothing sticks. I'm going to go in with the batter into the middle of the pan, and then just move the pan around and go right up the side. I'm only going to cook the pancake on one side. In a way, this is kind of like a cross between a pancake and almost a wrap. You can see when it's done, when the little sides kind of curl up a little bit. Look at that. It's really, really cool. I then go straight in with a fried egg. We now need to kind of load it up. So take a few little leaves of spinach. We'll take a few of those beautiful tomatoes. Definitely mix it up and have fun with it. Just beautiful. A little kind of shimmer of the spring onions, that limey avocado. And then with the egg, gonna flip it, and then on we go. Gorgeous. Chili sauce, of course, all over the place like that. Just a little squeeze of lime. It's quick, it's colourful, it's definitely not boring. Get in there. Some egg, tomato, the avocado. There's so much flavour in there. The lime, the chili sauce, really easy to make. What a delicious mouthful of goodness. Brilliant. So I absolutely love giving veggies the same care and attention that you would a beautiful cut of meat.
This incredible meat-free pot roast is so full of flavour, it puts the humble cauliflower centre stage.
So we're going to get 2 tablespoons of olive oil. The pan's currently cold. And then get yourself a speed peeler. I've got a lemon. Just take long bits of the yellow peel into the oil. And as the heat comes up, you're going to get just an amazing flavour that comes out, but the texture will change as well. We're going to go big and bold with the garlic. We're going to use a whole bulb of garlic. And when we long cook it like this, inside there will be sweet and delicate and beautifully perfumed. So the garlic goes in onto a kind of medium-high heat.
Destone 10 olives and add it to the pot.
They act like seasoning, so you're going to get more flavour than ever. The herb I'm going to use is oregano. Run your fingers down. It smells incredible. Now, get 2 red onions. I'm just going to simply cut those into quarters. Just take them apart, like little petals. Stir those through. Look at that. Just beautiful colours and flavours happening there.
And to add even more flavour, slice up 300 grams of new potatoes, quarter up 10 large tomatoes, season with salt and pepper, and top up with 500 millilitres of water, then bring to the boil.
And then that's going to be the most amazing welcoming party to that, the humble cauliflower. One of the cheapest veggies you can get, but this is designed to carry flavours. Like the shape of it inside will hold on to sauce. So this, my friends, will now go into there. But what I do want to do is a little trick here. Let me just show you. Carefully put the tip of my knife into that stalk in a little cross. And that will allow heat and moisture into that, and it's going to cook perfectly. And then we just nestle it, squeeze it, push it right to the bottom. A little drizzle of olive oil just to protect those leaves, and they'll go crisp and golden and gorgeous. So I'm going to cook this now in the oven. The oven's at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 Fahrenheit. The lid goes on for half of the cooking. So the first half of cooking is steaming.
So let the collie cook away for 30 minutes, then it's all about intensifying the flavour.
Time to give the collie a good basting, just like a cut of meat. You can see everything's started to cook down. So we take those juices, and then we can get those fantastic, fragrant ingredients like the olives, the garlic, the lemon, the oregano. All of that is going to seep right into the heart of that collie, and you wait. It's going to be absolutely beautiful.
So back in the oven for another 30 minutes until cooked to perfection.
Amazing, look at that. Come on. So you can see we've got colour on that cauliflower. There she is, in all her beauty.
While the collie rests, toss some charred, frozen broad beans and peas into the pan and cook for 5 minutes to supercharge the stew with even more veg.
Look at the colour. Get the spoon in there and scrape the bottom of the pan. You've got sticky bits. This is all flavour. Then we can take out our little friend, Mr. Garlic, and then inside there is just the most amazing flavour. And just mash it all up. And then when you get that and put it into that, we've got this beautiful, gorgeous thing. Right, spoon that in and around the cauliflower. And then a squeeze of lemon, just to kind of bring everything to life. That is a celebration of cauliflower. Let's get some of this nice stew on the bottom. Get in there. Look at that. The flavour is extraordinary. Earning the stripes on flavour, you know, really just giving it that TLC, just as you would a cut of meat. A really tasty, scrumptious dinner. I'm going to cook for my family the most brilliant but completely bonkers roast chicken dish. We're going to marinate it with a kimchi marinade. We're going to glaze it with a kimchi glaze. And then I'm going to use this kimchi also to dress like a whole load of vegetables to make the most beautiful rainbow slaw ever. So let's do it. Chicken, you can go aside for a minute. First up, the kimchi. I'm going to put it into a liquidizer, 300 grams, and I'm going to add some water. 100 mils goes in like that. I'm going to take some ginger, a nice big fat thumb-sized piece of ginger goes in here with the water, and I'm just going to give it a little bit of a hit of olive oil and a swig of vinegar, red or white wine vinegar, and we're going to whiz that up. Full of flavour. So I'm going to use this in 3 ways. So 1/3 in this roasting tray as a marinade, right? And then over here, I'm going to create a glaze. Just take 2 or 3 tablespoons of really nice honey. 1, 2. The honey turns this into a shiny, sticky, tacky glaze. And then this last third, that will become the most incredible dressing for a beautiful rainbow slaw. So let's do it. Chicken into the marinade, This is the time to earn your flavour. Get it in all the cracks and crannies, in between the little wings, around the legs, in the cavity. So let me just wash my hands. Okay, just put a little swig of water in. So the chicken goes in the oven, 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, for an hour and 20 minutes. Halfway through, I'll take it out. I'll baste all the beautiful juices on top. I might add a little bit more water, and that's gonna be the most beautiful, succulent, crispy skinned chicken ever. So the chicken's had about an hour of roasting. I've given it a nice little baste. I want to show you the next part of the story. First up, I'm going to toast some sesame seeds. So just put that on a high heat and just kind of toss it around like this. It doesn't take very long. Look at that. So in this same pan, I'm going to do rice. Get your reliable builder's mug and fill it up with basmati rice. This is perfect for 4 to 6 people. And then 2 mugs of water, tiny little pinch of salt, lid on top, medium-high heat, about 12 minutes, works every single time. Let's get this chicken and let's get to business. Oh, just have a look at this lovely chicken. Wow, come on. So I'm gonna go with the lovely glaze here, and I'm just gonna embellish. Now is the fun bit. You take your everyday chicken and you give it a proper makeover. I love this bit because essentially I'm pebble dashing this lovely glazed chicken with sesame seeds. What I want to do is take that last third of our kimchi sauce and I'm going to take a pack of tofu. I'll whiz it up and that will become the most incredible dressing for a beautiful, crunchy, rainbow veg slaw. It's going to be amazing. The slaw, the rice, the chicken. Come on! So, the tofu gives it an amazing, gorgeous, silky texture. Now, what I'm gonna do is just add pre-prepped veg. So now just get your hands in and dress it up. So let's plate it up, fork up that rice. Fantastic, steamy, light rice. Look at that. That is a roast chicken dinner like you've never seen before. Oh, it's just unbelievable. That kimchi has been a flavour gift that has kept on going. Come on, let's get in there. Oh, it's so good. Hey guys, hope you're well. So I'm gonna show you a really nice, easy dish that's delicious. It's a tray-baked chicken dish that we're gonna have with tortillas and salad and a little bit of corn in there. It's gonna be delicious. It's a family favourite dish, which all happens in one tray. So what we're gonna do is kind of have a welcoming party of flavour. How are we gonna do it? We're gonna have a little bit of olive oil in there, and then about the same of red wine vinegar, and then we'll kiss it with a little bit of salt and pepper, and then we've got the flavour that I love. About a teaspoon of smoked paprika goes in. That is what's gonna flavour this dish. Put the tray forward, we're gonna go in with 2 peeled onions that I'm just gonna quarter. And see these little petals like that? Just pull them off and they'll just be beautiful by the time the chicken's cooked. And then we've got the chicken. Now chicken thighs are just a brilliant cut of meat. They're so juicy and tender. So I'm gonna put the chicken in here like that. And then I'm gonna use my hands, just give it a nice little massage up, place the chicken on top of the onions, and when they cook together, it's gonna be the most beautiful harmonies. And then last but not least in this tray, cherry tomatoes, okay? I'm gonna put a pack of these cherry tomatoes in. That's basically 250 grams. And imagine all of this cooking, right? It goes in the oven. I'm just gonna wash my hands. Okay, I'm gonna put this straight in the oven, and we'll cook it for 45 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius. Now let's just talk about tortillas. A really good swap that is more delicious and definitely much more nutritious is to go from the white tortilla to the wholemeal tortilla. 2 or 3 times more fiber, but also more flavor. So I'll show you how to prep the tortillas a little bit later. But first up, what I want to do is show you a technique of cooking the beautiful sweet corn. So you can do these on a barbecue, lovely, and you'll get that smokiness. But another way to kind of get a similar char is to go into a pan, dry, and just char it and turn it around. So we're gonna cook this for like 10, 12 minutes on a medium-high heat. You can see that charring that you get, really nice. Just keep rotating that corn, and once it's all charred up like that, it's gonna be amazing. So the chicken's had its time, the corn is getting nice and charred up. Let's talk about the crunchy bits, salad. So you can have fun with any salad you've got, but I've got the humble gem lettuce here. You can just have kind of big chunks if you want, or you can finely slice it, just so it's nice and delicate and really fine. So we've got our salad bit here. We could take this corn on the cob and just have it whole, as we always do, or you can take it whole and just half it. Be careful though, cut it in half. But what my ones love is when you take it off of the corn and you just put it on the fat bit like that. Take a knife, don't put pressure on it, and just run it gently down the corn like that. And you can see how hot and steamy that is. So look, that'll go over there. Now next up, with the tortilla, we just want to warm them through. Literally on one side actually. Get yourself a nice little clean tea towel and just place it here like that. I don't want to get them crispy, I just want to reheat them. So 2 at a time. Every time you put the tortillas in, just wrap them up like this, okay? So that will keep it nice and warm and steamy, but most importantly, flexible, so you can wrap it up and it will be gorgeous. So look, the last 2 done in your little tea towel here. And then here, the tray bake. And the thing that I love about tray bakes is that everything cooking together. The smokiness, the sweetness, I can smell it all. It's really beautiful. So what we want to do is get 2 forks and then basically just pull apart that chicken. Can you see how tender that is? The sweetness from the tomatoes and the onions with that spice of the smoked paprika, which is such a great seasoning to have in your home. Get all the sticky bits from around the edge of the tray and you can serve this in the middle of the table. So it's like beautiful, organized chaos. Now, the only thing I love to do is just have a little bit of yogurt, a nice little pinch maybe of the smoked paprika, just to kind of give it a little bit of a vibe. An optional extra as well, lemon or lime, and that's it. Easy to put together, easy to cook, and then easy to serve, and it's a real crowd pleaser. For kids or adults, it's happy days. I love just to kind of line up those sweet onions first. The gorgeous crushed tomato and chicken, look at that. A sprinkle of the beautiful sweet corn and a little bit of that crunchy lettuce and just that kind of nice refreshment of a little bit of yogurt if you wish, and if you want, a squeeze of lime. Roll it up. What I love about that is it's fun, but the juiciness and the depth of flavour from the tray bake is phenomenal. So guys, come on, have a little cook up. You won't regret it. Enjoy. This, my friends, is the ultimate sandwich. It's a stuffed loaf with grilled chicken and layer upon layer of delicious ingredients, and it's got a dipping sauce. Come on, let's do this. So it's super simple. We've got a griddle pan on. I've just put that on full whack. I've got 2 chicken breasts here. Butterfly them, going to one side of the chicken breast and just carefully cutting halfway through. By cutting in half, you're making it bigger. It can take on seasoning and flavor much better, and absolutely it's gonna speed up the cooking by twice. And you can just score down there as well if you want. And I'm not gonna season it at this point, okay? I'm gonna season it later. Straight into the griddle pan. Let's wash my hands properly. Let's get some other jobs done. Slice the courgettes about 1/2 centimetre thick. Then with the peppers, push that little kind of stalk in and then tear open. That will allow you to take the seeds and the stalk, and we can lose that. These lovely halves, just tap the seeds out and rip them into quarters. Super simple. In no time at all, you can see the chicken is cooking in a really beautiful way. Just turn it over. Look at those lovely golden bar marks. Now next up, we want to get a nice gem lettuce like this and slice it up as fine as you can. And then next, avocado. We love it. We love avocados. Now what we want is a little welcoming party to the chicken and the veg once we've grilled them. So what we're gonna do is just add some olive oil to this tray, season it with some salt and pepper, the juice of 1/2 a lemon. So that's a nice, simple little marinade dressing. Let's just get that chicken and put it into that dressing and bathe it. And of course, it's gonna rest. And when it rests, the natural lovely juices will come out wonderful. Now, more grilling to do. So in this griddle pan, we're now going to go in with the courgettes, and let's just char them on both sides. And then see all these juices in the tray. Look at that. This is such good flavour. So into there, just simply move them around in all those lovely juices. It's going to taste delicious. Slice up my avocado, and then last but not least, let's get the peppers in. So as that's marinating and this is blistering and charring, I want to show you the little trick with this round loaf. Now get yourself a nice cob round loaf. It could be multi-seed, whole grain, sourdough. Just take the top off and just pull away the soft, fluffy inside. With this center part, you will never ever waste that. That will make the best croutons. It will thicken a beautiful soup. So look, once you've hollowed that out, we can start layering up the flavors. So we'll go in just like that and pack it and push it down. So we've got the peppers here and in they go, again, making a nice defined layer. Then it's time for the chicken. Just tear it up with your hands and make a really good layer. Avocado, and last but not least, the gem lettuce. You think it won't go in, just get it in there, stuff it in. Don't go wasting anything. Juices go in, it's gonna be so blooming scrumptious. It's all flavor. So what we wanna do is apply some pressure. So we'll wrap it up tight, put it in the fridge and put something on top of it to apply pressure. That's just gonna make the layers compress, the flavors mix. Leave it for a couple of hours ideally and it will be amazing. Time to make a delicious dipping sauce. So a brilliant little healthier swap is to use yogurt, 4 tablespoons, and then we're gonna flavor it up with Parmesan. And you want about 10 grams, and the flavor is phenomenal. Just a little bit of parsley, finely chop it. Get that in there like that. And then we've got half a lemon left that we haven't used. Just grate that lovely yellow part of the skin, and it's gonna maximize flavor. And then of course, squeeze every last bit of juice out of that. To give it a nice little mix up, delicious. Now, time for the loaf. Here it is. Take it out of that wrapping, nicely squashed, nicely marinated. This is gonna be brilliant. And then when you cut inside it, well, you can have a look for yourself. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. A sandwich like you've never seen before. There's something a little bit different. So of course, when it comes to noshing on a little bit, take some of that lovely dipping sauce, beautiful. One little tiny stroke of this Parmesan cheese again. Oh, let's get it. Right, the moment of truth. It's not gonna be pretty, guys, but who cares? Full mouth, 1 minute. I love it. It's a proper comforting sandwich. I'm very excited to give you my recipe to celebrate this coronation. This is my tribute to King Charles. Absolutely taking inspiration from the original Coronation Chicken, but we're gonna take it to a new place. It's gonna take those little taste buds and give them a right old slap about, and this is a meal that you can have at home. You can have it as a roast dinner if you want. Or the intention is to turn it into the most epic Coronation Chicken salad. You can take it in little components and go to a little street party and unleash this beautiful, colourful, tasty thing that all your mates are gonna be jealous of. You ready? Should we do this? Okay, over here, I've got a nice little 1.8 kilo free-range chicken. We're gonna roast that, smothered in some beautiful spices. So we're gonna use a curry paste. I'm gonna take 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm just gonna add to an already brilliant paste to make it much more unique and pungent and perfumed and layered in flavour. I've got ginger, a thumb-sized piece of ginger, so fresh, so juicy and fragrant. If you take a nice fresh chilli, you can also grate that. Have a look at that. See that? It's almost like a red slurry. Really nice. And then on the other side, we've got the skin and the seeds, which we won't take. So that is the beginning of our little paste. These pastes, by the way, this is one that I do, but there's lots of different types of pastes out there. I'm gonna add a little olive oil, just a tablespoon or 2. I'm gonna take some coriander. I'm gonna use the leaves in the salad, and these stalks that some people throw in the bin, no way Jose, right? I'm just gonna cut those stalks and finely slice them, they're washed. So on that kind of conversation of no waste, let's just talk about King Charles. We had the most incredible Prince Charles, who was an advocate of farming, small farms, the environment, being in contact with nature, waste, sustainability, all the things that are fashionable now. He's been doing that for like 45 years. That is inspiration to all the food lovers out there, the farmers out there, people like me, to do even more. If you are a vegetarian or a vegan, we will swap out, obviously, the chicken, and we can do beautiful things with whole cauliflowers and roast them and burn them a bit. Incredible flavours. All this will get in there. It will be next level. Beautiful split squashes or pumpkins. Amazing. A mixture of all those things. Beautiful root vegetables. This is a brilliant time of year. This is like one of the best times of year to do all of that. If you're cool with things like tofus and things like that, you can have some fun with that as well. When you marinate tofu, you know, in these spices, it penetrates into it. So you can have some real fun with that. So I'm doing this, by the way, in a casserole pan. You can do it in a high-sided roasting tray. That's fine. Let's mix this up. So we're gonna have a massage on the chicken. You can put rubber gloves on if you want because of the raw chicken or the spices. Or, you know, if you're a geezer like me, we'll just go in with hands and we'll have a nice little wash up afterwards. The other thing is we are gonna have, echoing some of the flavours of the retro Coronation Chicken, we've got pineapple, and we have a little bit of a split camp in our office when we were testing this for you lovely people. Do you go fresh pineapple? If you go fresh, when you pick it, just go to the centre, and if the leaf comes out really easily, that's a good sign that it's going to be ripe. If you smell it, and have a little smell up in the supermarket or market, it should smell sweet. If it's not, that's fine. Get it a week before, and just plop it on the windowsill and just let it get ripe. So I'm going for tinned pineapple, and there's something about these cute little rings that makes me happy. Are they delicious? Yes. Are these pineapples perfectly ripe when they're processed? Yes. So we're gonna go with that vibe. We're gonna go in with the chicken. Obviously raw meat is never very glamorous, but before I get my hands in there, when we're working with chicken, we always want to think about what we're touching and when. We don't want to cross-contaminate raw chicken with cooked things or things that you're not going to cook later. So I'm going to do all my chopping now, so we're good to go. I've got 4 onions, red or white, doesn't matter, and I'm going to quarter that back to the chuk-chuk over here. We have a little clean down. So no one has touched this chicken yet, but we soon will. I've got another little trick by taking a humble lemon, wash it if it's waxed. This is an unwaxed one. Put it in that microwave and give it 45 seconds of blasting. The friction of the microwaves will make that citrusy lemon turn into a steaming, festering, gorgeous bomb of heat and juiciness. And that will get the heat going into that chicken straight away. And don't forget to prick your lemon before you place it in the microwave. Come forth for a royal lemon, which is scalding my hand. So look, let's just park that before we really park it. Okay, let's take the spices. Look at the colours. You can tell I'm quite excited about this, but I love parties. I love any excuse for communities to come together. So look, here's my chicken. You have to give it a proper massage. You get it right in there. So, onions go in. That'll go to the bottom. Then get our hot steaming lemon right in the jacksie. Imagine that, right? Hot steaming. And then we're gonna take the chicken up and we'll just toss the onions in all this gorgeousness. That will be like a little trivet. Now I'm gonna have a clean down. Watch. Did you see that? No chicken has touched that tap. Okay, so just a little bit of olive oil on the top just to get that skin crispy, and then a little seasoning of lovely sea salt. So we're gonna take that amazing chicken, we're gonna cook it for an hour and a half at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. Halfway through, I'll turn this chicken around and give it a good basting. And then I'll introduce the pineapple to caramelize and roast. So let's let that cook, and then I'll show you what happens next. So the chicken has had 45 minutes. The room is smelling absolutely incredible. So take the chicken out, just briefly, and what we're gonna do, oh, it smells amazing. We're gonna take some of these lovely juices. We'll angle the pan, and we'll just baste it with lovely drippings and juices. Look at that, come on. So by basting the chicken, you're creating more coverage of flavour and those lovely natural fats as well. That's going to create also more kind of crispiness and gorgeousness. I'm also going to take the chicken and I'll just turn it over like this onto its back. So you get nice crispiness here as well, and even heat distribution. Now the pineapples will come out, and just throw them in, and we'll toss those up and break them up later, and they will caramelize and get nice and golden. So back in the oven we go, maybe with a little kiss of salt. It smells amazing. So 45 minutes left to go, and then I'll show you what to do next. Stop, collaborate and listen. Just like Vanilla Ice used to say. Do you remember that song? I feel that is very Coronation centric, right? But look at this chicken, just look at it. Crispy skin, beautiful. I've let this rest for about 20 minutes, and what you get, don't move away. Come back, Mr. Cameraman. What you have is the most sumptuous, tender meat. Just falls off the bone, right? That's what we want, okay? Angle that pan as I am here, right? We've let this rest a little bit. Just look at that, the tenderness, right? What I want to do is strip the skin off of this, right? None of this is going to be wasted, right? So we have good skin, but I want better skin. So I'm going to take this crispy skin, and I'll put it to one side, and I'll take the meat, put it to one side, and we're going to break down this chicken. This skin is like the best bit. That little lonely lemon, not so lonely anymore, is it? So what we have in here is almost like a little confit lemon, and that's going to go into our dressing. So mega flavour. Strip the meat off the bone, pull it all off. We're going to take that skin, and it's going to go into a pan, and we're going to get that so crispy. Just tear it up. That will go on almost like a crouton at the end of our salad, and that's going to be amazing. Back to the chicken. Here is what we call the oyster. So once I've got the breast out, you can just tear that into nice chunks. Look how lovely, look at the juiciness, come on! And I'm now going to toss it up, okay? So this is going to cool down. Let me just wash my hands. So just a little pick-me-up of pepper and salt there. I can take this lovely lemon, squeeze that out, obviously avoid any of those pips, cut that into a little quarter like that. The white part is not what you want, and it's bitter. Just run your knife. It doesn't have to be a sharp knife, it can be a little butter knife as well. Just, can you see how I've cleaned that up? Just the yellow, right? So this now is completely edible and delicious. And then with this skin, again, we're wasting nothing. Finely slice that lovely lemon skin. So in we go. In the pan here, can you see how this has gone really crispy? Put the crispy bits in here for a second. Add any nuts of your choice. I've got flaked almonds here. You can have some cashews if you like. These bits of skin over here, we're going to put these in with the nuts with a little pinch of salt. Oh. And we're just going to gently and beautifully toast these, and we'll sprinkle that on the top at the very end. So crunchy nuts and chicken skin. We've got gorgeous spiced chicken here. Go in with like 1 or 2 nice big tablespoons of Greek yogurt, and then we'll just stir this through like this. Look at that. That is going to be phenomenal. Don't forget, we've got the leftover juice of the pineapple, and that acts almost like an acidic kind of side as well. So that will just let it down, the rest of that. This is a little bit more moist now because it hasn't seen the fridge, but what you get is more tenderness, more deliciousness. You know, it's just a very luxurious experience, right? So if you can kind of make it, you can keep this at room temperature for an hour easily on a big platter. It's going to be amazing. If you do want to chill it down, it'll obviously firm up, and it'll still be delicious and very transportable. So you can kind of take the crispy bits in one dish, this in another dish, you've got all your little salads in another, and then when you get to a party or a picnic or a street party, whatever you're going to, I love a little platter action. So I'm just going to lay some nice gem lettuce, which you can get everywhere. Just lay it around a platter. Then we can go in with our beautiful, oh, just look at that. Woo! This is good. Flavour galore. Everyone will start watching. What's he or she up to? What's going on? They'll be curious. Say nothing. Just be devoted to your Coronation chicken. Oh! Then we've got our skin, our crispy bits. Put that in and around as well. The coriander leaves, I just put in cold water. A few ice cubes really help. That really brings them to life. Here's some pomegranates. A little bit of extra explosion of sweetness and colour. And then if you want to have a little bit of cucumber action, get a fork and just scratch it like that. So cucumbers in and around. Bit of chilli, just to see on top. Last but not least, poppadoms. Crunch it up. And there you go. That is my homage to King Charles Coronation Chicken J.O. style. Right, enough talking. Let's do it. Let's just get in there. Let's take a bit of that chicken, some of those caramelized onions, a little bit of that gorgeous pineapple, some crispy skin, poppadom, bit of chili. You don't have to eat it like this. You can just toss it up like a Caesar salad. But for me, this is going straight in there. Mmm. Mmm. Wow. Poppadom and gemlet is just crunching and fresh and salty. And then you've got this silky, pullable, juicy chicken. Honestly, that technique, lemon, jacksie spices. Ah. So there you go, lovely people. Don't watch me eat it. Get down the supermarket, get cooking, have a wonderful coronation. And I guess the correct thing to do would say, God save the king. Cheers. Hi guys, okay, so we're gonna do a really simple but delicious lamb kebab. It's a really lovely ritual to make a kebab. You can marinate it the day before, but I wanna show you the ones that I like to do, which is when you go for a walk in the park, or if you grow it yourself, get a rosemary skewer, right? And what you have here is a fantastic natural skewer. And what I want you to do is get a knife and at a slight angle, like that, and happy days. Okay, so let's start with the marinade, guys. This is gonna tenderize the meat. It's also gonna flavor it. Let's start with a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. The juice of 1 lemon goes in. I like to season it with a little salt and pepper. Herbs like bay leaf is really, really nice. I just remove the little stalk like this, and then these leaves, you pound those up, they're gonna be amazing. I'm gonna put the rosemary in as well, because we've got the skewers. I wanna use a little bit of salt in there so it's nice and abrasive, and we're gonna smash that up to pretty much a pulp. So nice, the smell is fantastic. You have to have a pestle and mortar because this is what flavour is all about, and it's literally the oldest kitchen gadget on the planet, and you don't have to plug it in. Couple of cloves of garlic, so just lightly crush those, and then that will start going a little bit more soggy. So that's what it's all about. That will absolutely make all the difference and transform this beautiful marinade. We'll mix this up. I'm going to put in some amazing spring lamb, which is tender and delicious. They're cut into inch chunks. This is enough for sort of 4 to 6 nice sized kebabs. And at the same time, I want to add some veggies. So I love, just having some nice red onions, cut them into quarters. And what will happen naturally, they just break off into little petals. You can have any coloured peppers that you want. The lamb's 1 inch, then I'll go about 1 inch on the peppers. And then it's going to sit beautifully on the skewer. Got my little chili here, just going to remove the seeds, the hot part, and I'll just cut that into 2. So some lucky person will get that. The one thing I forgot as well, which is from the garden, which is really, really nice, is oregano. When it flowers, cut it, tighten a knot, hang it up near a radiator or a window, and you get this fantastic dried oregano. We're going to give this a nice little massage up. So once you've mixed that up, guys, I would love to marinate that overnight. Oh, it makes all the difference. I'm not going to do it today, right? And it still tastes delicious, but overnight makes all the difference. Please do it. So let's load up our wonderful little kebabs and mix it up. So meat, onion. I don't want to tightly pack it too much. I want the meat and the veggies to have access to equal heat and temperature. So let's just load these up. Just a lovely, simple kebab. Of course, you can make it with chicken, pork, beef, different veggies. Getting that on a plate is a beautiful thing. So look, I want something to put my kebab in, and I want to do this lovely little flatbread. For the dough recipe, click the I. So here's the very simple dough, and just cut it up into 4. So we got our kebabs, we got our lovely little flatbreads. So we have our regular barbecue here. And then I want to mix it up because I'm going to use just a regular metal bowl. Put that onto the barbecue. That will get roasting hot very quickly. And then what I want to do is just roll this out. You can roll them out sort of like 1 centimetre thick. So because that metal bowl is quite thin, it doesn't take much time to heat up at all. And we're just going to lay that straight over like that. We're going to put our wonderful kebabs on. So they'll go straight on to the barbecue. And we'll really take care of those and love them. So look, let's have a little look at the bread. You don't want to kind of rush it, but it should just crack off. Look at that. It's like a little bowl of heaven. So you can see how quick that was to cook. I've just given it a little bit of heat on the other side. Use rosemaries also, not just for skewers, but use it as a brush. And does it make a difference? It absolutely does make a difference. It really does. Look at that, guys. It's beautiful. And then, of course, you can put in some salads. And then I like the red cabbage. It just feels so vivid and exciting. Some mint leaves are just little fragrant little surprises. So the yogurt there, just laced with mint. So good. Delicious. We wistfully remove the skewer, leaving you with the wonderful bowl of goodness that you can just roll up and squeeze and squeeze and then put in your mouth and enjoy. Absolutely delicious. Hi guys, hope you're well. I'm gonna show you how to make the most delicious crispy lamb flatbreads with a rainbow slaw. We're celebrating leftover lamb, and actually you could use any leftover roasted meats. So let's do this. We've got 150 grams of self-raising flour. Into this, we're gonna add a good pinch of sea salt, and then go in with about 110 milliliters of cold water. I'm gonna use a fork in a little bowl to mix this up. And if the dough is just a little bit too wet, you can add some flour. If it's a bit too dry, you can add a little bit more water. So move the bowl around. You can see it going from a kind of little slurry to a light dough. At that point, we can go from using the fork to using our hands. What we want is a nice, pliable, elastic, soft dough. And I'll just give it a nice little knead like that, right? It's nice and smooth, and I can just leave that here now to rest while I show you the principles of a beautiful rainbow slaw. And this is a great opportunity to talk through how quick and brilliant a little box grater slaw can be. Any leftover veggies that are crunchy, you can celebrate and use. There's things like carrots. I go to this thick side of a box grater and I try and do long strokes. You really don't need much of each vegetable. Bit of white cabbage, bit of red cabbage, fennel, bit posher, but really nice, crunchy, aniseed, little bit of radish. Okay, so we have our box grater slaw. What a celebration of colour. So to make that really sing, we're gonna hit this hard with lemon juice, a little herb like mint. We'll hit it up with some salt. If you want to give it a little kiss of olive oil, you can. And I won't toss that until the last minute. Now, pan is hot, slaw is done, dough is done. This is super quick stuff, guys. Just take a little bit of extra flour and we'll just dust it lightly like that. So what I want to do is roll this out with a rolling pin, about kind of a centimetre, half a centimetre thick. I quite like to really fill that pan, so we'll go quite wide. This pan is very hot, and I'm just gonna literally pick it up and I'm gonna put it straight into there dry. Like that, push it out to the edges and just let the heat do its thing. All these little bubbles here, that's texture, and that's gonna soak up flavor and all sorts of gorgeous things. So give that 30 more seconds while I cut up the lamb here. Now, there's something beautiful about leftover meat that is really, really divine. You get that extra flavor. I'm just gonna cut it up badly, like wonky, right? So I'll put that back on this little plate. Now what I wanna do is just flavor it nice and delicately. Here, I've got some beautiful ground coriander. It's really nice, a good pinch, about a teaspoon. If you've got herbs, thyme, rosemary, great, but I love dried oregano. I'll just crumble over the top. The bread here, I'm just gonna turn it. Should be nicely charred, look at that. Now I've got lemon, just a little bit of zest, fresh flavors, don't waste anything, right? Absolutely amazing. And then I'm just gonna kiss it with just a little olive oil and salt and pepper and almost dress the leftover lamb. Let's have a little look at this flatbread. If I just turn it out on here, beautiful. So I'll just put that to the side just for a second, and we're now gonna go into the pan with the lamb. I want it to be golden, kind of overcooked, crispy, gnarly. I'm gonna take just a little bit of lemon juice and go into the pan, right, for that fresh acidity. So sour, but what goes well with sour? Sweet, a teaspoon of honey. And you're gonna get the most shiny contrast, sweet and sour, herby, fragrant, and then we go back in with our bread. And you can just like give it a little wash, push it down, be careful of course, and then onto the board. That's what we're after. Look at that, it's just sizzling away. Yes, I've made a little bit of mess. So with that, I take my slaw and at the last minute, just lightly dress it and just put that in the middle. Look at the colours, guys. And any leftovers, we can kind of put that on the board. What I love to do is just take, you know, some lovely Greek yogurt and then just have a little bit more of that ground coriander. That is it. Ah, no, it's not. Chili sauce. I can't help it. You don't have to do it. There you go. That is a super quick leftover celebration of lamb. Flatbreads in minutes, rainbow slaw that's fresh and full of the good stuff. Normally I just roll it and get it in there, but let's just do it. Wow. The lamb parts are so gnarly. What I love is the sponginess of the bread soaks up all the juices of the lamb. So good. Go on, guys, good luck, take care, and happy cooking. Over the last year, none of us have been able to celebrate those really important family moments. So in our household, I've had 2 18th birthdays, I've had graduations, I've had my mum and dad's retirement, me and Jules had our 20th wedding anniversary, in fact, our 21st wedding anniversary as well. So we haven't been able to do that. And now that we can get back together again, I've created this incredible celebration meal that hopefully will just kind of like bring everyone back together. Kids everywhere, outside, fun, laughter, joy, the whole thing. So it's all about having that one centerpiece on the table.
And I'm going all out with an epic rolled and stuffed, slow roasted lamb. It's a proper one slice wonder and the perfect dish to get ready in advance.
And this is a beautiful 3 kilo shoulder of lamb. I've got my butcher to debone it, which they will always do for you, and they've cut those bones up, so I'm gonna make the most amazing gravy. And by deboning it, it kind of opens it out like a book. So by having that, now what we can do is stuff it with the most incredible stuffing. My inspiration has actually come from these little babies. These are merguez sausages. You can get them in nice butchers, sometimes with beef, sometimes with lamb, sometimes both. You could use any great sausage that you love. A Cumberland, it could be a chorizo, anything that you like, right? So let me just put this lamb away, back in the fridge, and let's focus on the stuffing for just a minute. So get yourself a hob on, medium-high heat. I've got a nice big tray here for the lamb. Kiss the tray with a little olive oil, and then the sausage, and basically squeeze it out into little chunks. I'm literally going to pinch it, squeeze it out, pinch it, squeeze it out. That's the beginning to our stuffing. So let me just wash my hands. Okay, so let's have a little look what's going on here. Just use a spoon to break up the sausage. It already smells amazing.
Hi, Dad.
How are you?
What are you cooking?
A lovely roast lamb for tomorrow. You know, when all our friends and family are coming around.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to help me?
Yeah, sure.
Good point. Wash your hands and then get around here. You can do some chopping if you like. So I've got 2 fennel. I want you to keep the herby part, finely slice the stalky part and roughly chop the bulby bit.
Okay.
Did a bit more cooking in lockdown, didn't you, buds?
Yeah. It's fun.
What I'm going to do now is put in this herb here, so sage. I'm just going to tear it into the sausages. So if you finely slice the stalky bits first, big boy.
Yep.
Those stalky bits are tougher, so if you go a bit smaller, that kind of helps the cooking. And then the bulby bit is more tender, so you can go a bit more chunky.
Yeah. Is that good, Dad?
That's nice. Yeah, beautiful job. I'm going to take this little opportunity to work beside my son because I'm going to blink 1 second and it'll be him that's going to university. One thing I've learned in lockdown is you have to cherish every single little moment. The things that are important, right? Little moments. We did some nice things in lockdown, didn't we? We did a bit of fishing together.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
Built camps.
Yeah.
Right, so I've done onions. So, Buzz, come and throw some of those fennel stalks in here. Lovely. You can throw my onions in as well. You can be the thrower inner. Last one. Go on, my son. Then pick the whole board up and throw it in here. Yep. So, what I want to do tomorrow when we cook this lovely meal is, with the help of Buddy and maybe Petal and River, we're going to have a little area outside, table outside, so we'll get bean bags and cushions. So it's a bit of a festival. That's what we're after, a little bit of fun. So, Bud, are you happy to help me do that tomorrow? So give that a little shake, give it a stir. We'll let that cook for about 20 minutes until the veg is soft, sweet, tender and delicious. And that's going to be the base for the most amazing stuffing.
That didn't harm me. You. Try and get me. Ha ha. I'm the best at this.
Oh, it smells amazing. Can you see how that large volume of veggies is now literally halved? And by doing that slow cooking, you've condensed, you've concentrated all those beautiful flavours. So now we can turn the heat up a little bit. And a very important ingredient now, a bit of white wine. So, about a glass, a good glass. By putting the wine in, letting it kind of rehydrate all those vegetables and the sausage, then cooking it away, you're just going to get the most amazing, amazing flavour here. So, let me get the last ingredient. This is some nice spongy sourdough bread, just about 250 grams. I'm just going to slice it up into little kind of 1-2 centimetre chunks. We're going to go in with the crusts as well. If you've ever got a bread that's too dry and the crusts are just like concrete, then simply put it in a little bowl, cover it with water or milk, and just kind of scrunch it like a loofah, right? And then after like 30 seconds, pour away that excess water and it will be much, much softer, okay? So you can bring it back to life even if it's really stale. About 30-40% of all the bread we buy ends up in the bin. So anything that stops us wasting is a beautiful thing. So let's just stir that through. The wine's now gone and the bread will start taking on some of the moisture from that stuffing. So what I'm going to do is turn that gas off, lay it all out flat, and let this stuffing cool down. If we're going to roll that beautiful shoulder of lamb, we don't want to do it with anything that's hot. Come on, give me a kiss. Why? Every time I kiss you, you just run away. So this stuffing has cooled down beautifully. Let's get that lovely shoulder of lamb out. So you can see it's opened out like a book. Now we're going to stuff it. So I'm going to move it like this. If there's any little kind of fatter bits, you can just score it slightly so it kind of holds on to our little stuffing. One thing I want to do is get my hands involved. Obviously they're clean. Just scrunch it up. It's going to really soften up that bread and that will completely change the texture and you'll get almost a creaminess out of the bread stuffing. Hey, Buds!
Yeah?
Come and give me a hand.
Okay.
Got messy hands now. So, Buds, if you can get the salt and pepper, sprinkle some salt and pepper on there from a height. Nice, generous one. All over the whole thing. That's quite high. Not necessarily that high. Well, yeah, that's it. Beautiful. Lovely. And then we've got this lovely stuffing that I'm going to kind of pack in here like that. So you can pack it quite dense. So I've put it on about half. Buds, do you mind just putting that in the sink for me, darling?
Yeah,
So the next bit you're going to love, and you're very important for my success here. Actually, it's really nice to do this together. So now we've seasoned it and put the stuffing in, I'm going to basically fold it over like this, and it will fall out, so don't worry about it. As it falls out, we'll try and repack it in again. Now, Bud, if you grab that string there. So this is very, very simple to do. Just get like 7 or 8 pieces of 60 centimetre string, put it underneath, and then basically we'll put it an inch apart all the way along. So I always start in the middle. So I tie it, 1, 2, and then if you pull it tight like this, it doesn't really let go. So then I can come back in and put that second knot in there. And then I just cut it off like that. Chefs and butchers will make it look super flash and super perfect. Please do not worry about it. As long as it gets tied up and you secure that meat, that's the only thing that matters.
Can I do one?
Yeah.
Can I do this
Go
one?
this one, yeah. Okay, so like keep it roughly the same distance. Tight as you can. Buddy's muscles are developing at the moment, and I'm trying to get him to eat his fruit and veg every single day. So
I do eat my fruit and veg every day. A whole plate of fruit every morning.
Now, our only job here is just to secure the meat and keep that stuffing in. Once it starts cooking, it will set in shape. So you're going to be able to serve it just one slice wonder. You'll have the stuffing, you'll have the meat. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so in this tray, which we did the stuffing, I'm going to put all the bones from the shoulder of lamb. And it's really handy if your butcher cuts them up for you because you're going to get loads and loads of flavour out of that. So that can go onto that trivet of bones. Any of these little bits now we can collect and they'll go into the bottom of the tray and they'll get gnarly and sticky and they'll basically make the most amazing juices. Now, if you can grab us a garlic buds, I'm literally just going to break this up into little chunks and leave the skin on. This is New Season's garlic, so it's a little bit softer, but basically this just gets broken into this tray. Any extra little sage leaves, a little bit of olive oil, and that'll just protect it. So I'll cover this now, buds, if you can cover that for me.
Yep.
And that'll go in the oven tomorrow for about 4 hours until super tender. It's going to be absolutely delicious. So one great job done. Right, go on. Go and have a play.
Okay, bye.
Thank you for your help. You've been very useful.
It's the morning of my celebration feast.
So I've been preparing this beautiful celebration meal for my family and loved ones. I did most of the work yesterday, which is fantastic, and that's what it's all about, right? I want to prepare a meal which is nearly all done, so when my friends and family get here, I can be spending more time with them, because at the end of the day, it's about being together, right? That's what it's all about. So let me get you up to speed. I've done this beautiful shoulder of lamb that's been stuffed and rolled. Now, let's just talk about that for a second. It's going to take about 4 hours to cook, okay? I'm going to put it into an oven at 4 whack and immediately turn it down to 150 degrees Celsius, which is 300 Fahrenheit, okay? So you've got that high heat that immediately goes down to sort of low and slow. 4 hours of cooking, I'll baste it halfway through, give it lots of love. And also, if your guests are half an hour late, it doesn't really matter. If it cooks an extra half an hour, it doesn't matter. Okay, so lamb's in the oven.
That's really pretty.
I'm bored. Can they run off? Yeah.
This room smells incredible. That is the thing about these lovely, slower cooked cuts of meat. This has had just over 4 hours, and I've basted it halfway through and just gave it a little few splashes of water. In return for that, you'll get the most moist, succulent meat. Look at this. Give it a little baste. Get a fork, stick it in here, and if you can effortlessly just pull that out. Ho, ho, ho. Right? That's when you know you've got something that is groundbreakingly delicious. Chef's treat. Oh my Lord. Falling apart. Wow. Absolutely delicious. Little kiss of the juices. Put a few of those crispy bits on top. That will stay hot now for a good hour and a half out of the oven. So, the lamb has been resting beautifully. Pull the string off, make sure you get all of it, and it should all come out in one. There you go. So we'll get rid of that. Guys, have a little look at this. Come on. Do you mind if I serve yours up and then I can put everything in the middle of the table?
Yeah, sure.
Is that leg or shoulder?
Shoulder.
Oh, my favourite.
Who wants the end bit?
I love the end bits. I want the end bit.
We all want the end bit.
And who's this for?
This is for Gennaro, the king of the table. Dad, this one's for you.
Well done, me darling.
Here, Nanny.
Oh, wow. Oh, that looks fantastic.
Right, enjoy, everyone. Tuck in.
It's really good.
River, do you want some gravy? Yeah. I want on there, now on here, and then on here.
River, why have you got 2 plates?
Because this is potato, one for lamb, and this is one for potatoes.
Guys, if I may say, I've been dreaming of this moment for a long, long time. It's so nice to have us all back together again. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. Love you all.
Cheers. Cheers. Life is about memories. And today we made a memory.
Thank you, Dad. I could do a whole paragraph, and it's never as good as Dad's. Dad does 3 words.
I've got the most incredible recipe for you to try this weekend.
This dish is absolutely inspired by our Scottish brothers and sisters, using the incredible spices of haggis. We're going to do lamb shanks, that are so tender they're just gonna fall off the bone. We're gonna have a kick of marmalade, whiskey, and a deep, rich veggie sauce on a creamy, cheesy pearl barley risotto. You're gonna love it. So it all begins here with these 6 beautiful lamb shanks. What I like to do is go to my butcher. These have been French trimmed at the top, which expose the bone. They look absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna kiss them with just a little olive oil, and I'll season these with salt and pepper. And then what we wanna do is get that into a frying pan, which is on a medium heat. So we wanna brown off the lamb shanks to get beautiful color, to create more flavor. Now, at the same time, add a little olive oil to a pan. I'm just gonna finely chop 4 slices of smoked bacon. Then go in with some bay leaves for flavor. The smell is already incredible. So next ingredient, onions. I'm gonna use 1 white and 1 red. I wanna cut them quite big. In with the onions, couple of carrots, nice big chunks of carrot. Then we're going in with our friend Mr. Swede. Ultimately what I'm after is 1-inch chunks. Last but not least, the humble celery stick. And in we go. What we're doing now is intensifying and caramelizing like natural sugars in the veggies. 15 minutes dedicated to colour, colour, colour. So, let's talk spices. Haggis, such an incredible dish. The spicing is brilliant.
So go into a mortar with those classic haggis spices. A tablespoon of black pepper, 10 allspice berries, 5 cloves, and grate in half a nutmeg. Bash them together until fine and sieve them over the veg.
This is all getting very exciting. I can even be a little bit cheeky and steal a little bit of the lamb fat, full of flavour. You can see caramelising in full effect. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of thick cut marmalade. It's going to make everything shine and it's going to start to caramelise even more. I want to add a thickening agent now. So 1 generous heaped tablespoon of flour, and then one of my favourite ingredients, 4 shots of really nice Scotch whiskey. Now, if you want, what you can do is flame it. Of course, when you're flaming, be careful, because you want the alcohol to cook away fully. As soon as that's happened, add this amazing golden lamb shank. Look at that colour. Any sticky bits from the pan can go in.
Pour in a litre of beef stock, then scrunch up a sheet of greaseproof paper and cover the pot.
So I love to put the greaseproof on instead of a lid, because what happens is it lets it slowly evaporate, concentrate in that lovely gravy, and it's going to be richer and tastier for it. So I'm going to cook that now for 3 hours at 170 degrees Celsius, and the oven's going to do all the hard work and make it so tender you won't believe. Now, I want to show you how to make the most delicious sweet leek pearl barley risotto. With these lovely big leeks, concentrate on the white part. Cut it in half lengthwise, like that, and I just want to finely slice the leeks.
Add a knob of butter to a new pan, a couple of sprigs of thyme, then go in with your leeks. Add a splash of water and cook over a medium heat for 15 minutes.
The leeks have just been ticking away. Have a look at that. The softness and sweetness that's come out of these leeks is unbelievable. We can add 450 grams of pearl barley. Now look, these are fantastic little grains. And it has this incredible ability, just like risotto grains, to suck up flavour from not only the leeks that are sweet and delicious, but good stock.
Go in with 1.5 litres of chicken stock, cover and cook for around 40 minutes until the barley is tender.
The pearl barley is smelling delicious, and if we have a little taste, oh, it's delicious. What I want to do is just add about 500 mils of milk to sort of make it pearly white. And there's one last ingredient, cheddar cheese. Not only for flavour, but also for seasoning. In we go, and just stir it in. Turn the heat off. Let it just sit. Beautifully, kind of getting even more silky and gorgeous. Let's think about serving up. Have a little look at that. Come on, chunks of veg. Let's grab one of those shanks. Just amazing. And then let's go over to that incredible pearl barley. Look at that starchy, comforting gorgeousness. I'll take just a few thyme tips, sprinkle it on the top. Come on, let's get some of that. See how silky it is? I'll go in with the veg first. Look at those chunks. And what I love is the way that the dark, thick gravy marbles through that silky barley risotto. Wowzers, let's get amongst it. And we know we've done good work on the lamb when you can just shake, shake, shake the meat off the bone. Come on, look at that, yes! Right, enough yapping. Deep flavour, tender, sweet meat. I've just got a little hit of marmalade, just a little chunk of that orange peel works so well with the swede, the whiskey, the dark gravy. Oh, go out this weekend, get yourself some lamb shanks and have a proper little cook-up. You will love it. Look at this, beautiful shoulder of lamb. And I have to be honest, the shoulder of lamb is my favourite bit of the whole animal. And I tell you what, if more people bought it, it would give butchers all around the country a much easier life, because legs of lamb, walk out the door. Racks of lamb, walk out the door. But these little babies need a tiny bit of thought, a little bit of TLC, and cook it slow. And this meat is sweet, it's delicious, and you don't have to do too much to it. So, first of all, get yourself a knife and just score up erratically the lamb, just to open it up a little bit, like that. And then all I want to do is get a roasting tray. I'm going to get a garlic clove and just smash them up like that. Throw a few on the bottom. Get some salt. Season the lamb on both sides. And then pepper. And real simple. The whole point of this is utter simplicity, but then care when you cook it. Get yourself a nice wodge of rosemary. Look at that stuff, beautiful. And just tear it into bits and put it in the bottom of the tray. Rosemary and garlic, classic combo for lamb. And then put your lamb in nice and snug here. And then put a few of the garlic cloves on top here. Tear up some rosemary here, nice big handful of rosemary. Be brave. And then just a tiny little drizzle of olive oil just to get that fat rendering and going. And then tin foil. 2 sheets of tin foil. Put this over here like this. Tightly seal it. And then this is the bit that's going to turn this simple, good value piece of meat into the most incredible roast, right? 4 hours at... Well, what I've done is I've got an oven at full whack, OK? And as soon as it goes in, turn it straight down to 170 degrees Celsius, or about 330 Fahrenheit. And what happens is that intense heat gets on the lamb, gets it sort of going, and then the oven cools down, and we're going to gently cook that now, that lower temperature, for about 4 hours. And in 4 hours' time, that lamb is going to be so delicious, sticky, you can pull it apart. It'll be the best roast lamb you ever have. Right, let's get this lamb out. Beautiful. Fantastic smell. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. And you can see, even though it's had tin foil over it, it's got beautiful colour all the way over. And what I do now, the shoulder of lamb, you can see the bone is literally falling out. That's how tender and delicious it is. I'm just going to pick it up, put it onto our platter, like that. Let that just sit. You know there's a bit of meat that's just... See how that... Look. That is total tenderness. And... Oh. Boo. So in here, we've got these beautiful garlic cloves, and if you just squeeze them, then all this beautiful, lovely, soft, sweet garlickiness, you can just mix it with a bit of gravy and then a bit, you know, potato or veg or whatever, and it is the best thing ever in the world. So don't go throwing those away. And then what you need to do now is get rid of the rest of the rosemary and any of the excess oil, like that. So if you look in the bottom of the pan now, what you've got is beautiful stickiness. So I'm going to put that on the heat, and we're going to make a funky, old-school caper and mint sauce, but not like a cold mint sauce, hot mint sauce. So, first of all, with all the sticky goodness here, I want to put a tablespoon of flour. And obviously what that's going to do is that's going to allow you to thicken your sauce, which is fine. And you can see the colour of it already, is that marmitey stickiness that's cooked out of the lamb. And you never want to throw that away, that's gold dust. And while that's doing their thing, I've got some lovely fresh mint from the garden. Finely slice it. And I tell you what, when you make your own fresh mint sauce, as opposed to just getting it out of the jar, you know, it takes seconds to do, and it just tastes so fantastic. And then bring your capers into it. Literally put the two into each other and continue to chop. Go straight in with your mint and capers. And then I've got a pint of chicken stock. Bring it to the boil. I don't need you to simmer it for hours, just enough to get all that stickiness dissolved so you got that wonderful flavour. And you'll be ready to rock and roll. Over here, I've just chopped up some swede, some carrots, some potatoes. Boil them till they're soft, and I'm going to drain them. So pour your veg in there. And then, once you've drained it, put it back in the pan. And we can put them straight back on the heat. Nice knob of butter. And for me, this is it, you know. Put the lamb on, go out, have some fun, go do your thing with your mates, your kids, go down the pub, go watch football. Come back, you know, you've got the tin foil on the lamb, nothing's going to go wrong too quickly. Get the gravy on, bit of smashed veg, and you can put it all together pretty damn quick. And a nice pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper, and then get a masher and just mash them up like that. I don't want you to mash the hell out of them. I'm not looking for a puree. You're not going to get extra points for making baby food. But just look at the colours. Beautiful. So, sauce is ready. Let's bring this together now. We get our smashed veg in here. Look at the colour of that. Total comfort food. Just great. And then a little extra knob of butter just in the top there. Let it melt. With the sauce, you've got that intensity of the lamb in the flavour, you've got the stock, the freshness of the mint and the capers. About a tablespoon of good red wine, white wine, cider vinegar to give it a bit of a twang. And obviously that acidity will help cut through the richness of the lamb. And then I'm just going to pour this lovely gravy in. Look at that. Wonderful hot caper and mint sauce, which will just knock your socks off. Works with lamb, a proper treat. And then I've got some lovely Cavolo Nero, just been quickly boiled. Look at that. Tossed in a little olive oil and a squeeze of lemon juice. It's got salt and pepper in it already. So, lovely bit of greens, proper mash or smashed veg, incredible gravy here. And I want to show you this beautiful lamb because the whole point of this dish, apart from the sweetness and flavour, is the tenderness, right? And literally all I have to do is put my knife in here and you can see it all just bust apart. Look at that. That is the real deal. And once you've tried that lovely shoulder of lamb, you'll be doing it again and again and again. Brilliant.
We all love show-stopping meals, but guess what? You don't have to wait for that special occasion to cook something that's truly impressive.
I'm going to turn these 4 gorgeous salmon fillets into an amazing salmon en croute. Now, en croute generally involves pastry around something that's been loved and looked after. It's a great family epic meal. It's exciting. But normally, I would say, it involves at least a couple of hours. It's something more for dinner parties. It's more of a weekend dish. So I've written this recipe for me and my family for the middle of the week. And this dish is humble. It's only like 7, 8 ingredients, and it's easy to put together. 45 minutes, start to finish, and I think you're gonna love it. First of all, we've got to do the stuffing. So we're going with spinach, onions, garlic. We're gonna flavour it up. Frozen spinach is brilliant. I always have it in my freezer. It's been cooked already, it's been squeezed already. All we have to do is bring this back to life. So about 500 grams of spinach is what we need, but we want to flavour it. So best friends with spinach, probably most likely, is garlic. So I've got some garlic, which actually, I grew this, which is nice. I'll just finely slice about 4 cloves, get that into the oil, and give it a nice little mix around. Like that, beautiful. To go with that, 1 onion. A little pinch of salt, a little pinch of pepper, and let's start sweating that off, getting it nice and softened up. We want to bring out the sweetness in those onions. I've got a little bit of rosemary here, which is just winking at me, so I'll just nick a little bit of this. Just a few little bits. This is an optional extra. Any herb, I can't think of one herb I wouldn't want with the salmon and the spinach, so this is beautiful. A little bit of lemon zest really adds a nice bit of fragrance. So for me, the idea of an en croute is kind of like a present. You're wrapping something. So of course, what's inside needs to be glorious. So I really want to intensify flavour here. So I'll now take the frozen spinach and we'll go straight in. And of course, that needs to thaw, but we're going to fry and thaw. So let's just take this like that. So what I do now is just have this at a medium heat and put a little lid on top. 10 minutes, it's going to fry and steam. The spinach will defrost and then start getting flavoured with all that gorgeousness. Okay, let's have a little taste. Very nice. Little bit of seasoning, and that is going to be absolutely lovely. So, while that cools down a little bit, let's get the puff pastry out. I think puff pastry is a brilliant, brilliant thing. Look, it's already rolled out for me, and that is properly convenient. This is an all butter puff pastry. It comes on the greaseproof paper, so I don't even have to add any. Then just get yourself a baking dish, place this on top. So what I want to do is just build like a little landing strip for the salmon, right? To give it great flavour, but also to kind of make it look beautiful. Now, if you want to cook it straight away, you can put the spinach on here warm, no trouble at all. If you want to do it in advance, then cool this down, then put it together, okay? So we'll go into the middle of the pastry first. Use a spoon to push the spinach about 5 centimetres from the edge of all 4 sides of the puff pastry. It's super simple, and I know that's going to be super tasty. So then we go on with the salmon. So look, normally when you do a salmon en croute, it's a big whole side of salmon. It's a bit of a kind of spectacle, but this dish works really well with like normal supermarket portions. So what I want to do is just grab it and leave a little finger's gap in between. This really helps you because you can get a nice clean portion, so it helps you later on when you serve up. But also it means we've got the potential to add in flavour into those gaps. So look at that, pretty simple, right? Now what we can do is encase it. So we're not going to fully encase it, we're going to partially encase it. So use the paper to go up against the salmon, and I'll do the same on the other side. Tuck it in, push the pastry down, and that way you secure the salmon. So we're really making everything sit in that little package. And the same on that final side here. Don't worry about any tears or cuts. You know, if it misbehaves a bit, you can tuck it in. It's quite a pliable pastry. Season this with a little salt and a little tiny bit of pepper. And then 2 eggs, beaten up, and just brush the pastry. This egg wash will make this pastry go absolutely insanely gorgeous and golden and delightful. And this is going to go into the oven in 2 simple stages. I'm going to put it in the oven now at 220 degrees Celsius. And very importantly, put this at the bottom of the oven. Why? Because we want crispy bottoms, okay? So 15 minutes, that's all you need. In we go. Happy days. Right, let me show you a really cool little hack. Most of the eggs are still in this bowl, right? And when I came up with this recipe, I'm thinking, my teenagers, what do they like? Pestos, right? Jarred pestos, you can get some nice tomato ones, sun-dried tomato pestos. So a tablespoon of this in the eggs is like an incredible seasoning. It doesn't just have to go on pasta. Whip that up, and we've got like an easy 1 ingredient hack to take these eggs and make them amazing. So, 15 minutes is up. Good smells are coming out of this oven. Let's have a little look here. Yes. Look at that. So we're getting colour here. I can see there's crispiness happening underneath. So we'll take that lovely pesto-y egg and it will go in between the little gullies. And it will protect and flavour the salmon. Another 15 minutes in the oven will not kind of overcook this salmon, but it will kind of just make it gorgeous. Put that egg over the salmon. That will give it a fantastic little glaze. Look at that. It's gonna be amazing. So back in the oven for 15 minutes, and then it's dinner time. Exciting. Time's up. Welcome to my beautiful salmon on croute. It's scruffy, but it's utterly beautiful. Look at that. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Bubbling and sizzling around the outside. Look at that. I mean, it's all about the crunchy edges. Look at that. Just so crispy. I've done some greens here. I couldn't help myself. Got some lovely green beans, asparagus, sprouting broccoli, little kiss of olive oil. And that is a sumptuous, sumptuous meal for the people I love. All right, let's get into it. So, the nice thing about these gaps is it's sort of showing us where the portion is. Look at that. Look at the cross section. Absolutely gorgeous. It's like the perfect slice. Crispy pastry at the bottom. Gorgeous, rich spinach with the garlic, the onions, and that glaze of the flavoured pesto egg. It's a thing of joy. Look at that. Little kiss of lemon juice. Fresh and delicious. Right, go on, let's have a little cheeky try. Oh. Pastry, salmon, spinach. It's so good. The salmon is flaking, and then the sweetness of the pesto with the egg is like elegance, just kind of like put over the top with the crispy pastry. It's a lovely, lovely meal. So let's not do this for dinner parties and friends. Let's do this at home, for your family. Honestly, you won't regret it. That food makes me happy, and everyone deserves that, especially now, more than ever. Right, let's take this to the girls. We're going to do a roasted tail of salmon, which has been seasoned with salt, pepper, green tea, and sesame oil. It's going to be amazing.
Plus, fantastic whole grains and a salad bursting with vitamins.
Of course, you can use regular salmon fillet. I'm going to cook this beautiful salmon tail. Cooking fish on the bone is really a beautiful thing. You get more moisture, it's more forgiving if you slightly overcook it, and you just don't have to be scared of it.
Start by making 1/2 centimetre deep cuts, about 1 centimetre apart.
It looks kind of pretty. Well, that ain't a bad thing, but the real reason we're doing it is to get seasoning in there. Also, allow heat to penetrate so it cooks beautifully. We want to season it with salt and pepper. Then we got this kind of curveball in there, green tea.
Simply tear open a green tea bag and sprinkle over the fishtail.
It tastes incredible. And of course, you've got that slightly Asian, oriental sort of vibe just kind of kicking in there. So just tap the fish in and around all that seasoning.
Finally slice a clove of garlic and push the pieces into the cuts in the fish.
Because when that garlic roasts, the natural oils will come out of the fish. And they'll start to sort of fry the garlic.
Get a teaspoon of sesame oil and pat it onto the salmon skin.
That bit of sesame oil will make all the difference. It will transform and link all of those flavours and seasonings.
Then this needs to cook for around 20 minutes on 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit.
Time to do the sunshine salad. Why is it called sunshine? Because it's colourful.
I'm going for carrots, tomato, chicory and cress. But pick your favourite veg and make it your own. Chop, shave and slice for different shapes and sizes.
Chicory, you might not have tried this before. I cut it in half first, and then you get these lovely cups, and these will catch the dressing. These are kind of sweet and bitter. And then you've got the stalk here. So often people throw the stalk in the bin, but actually this is the most delicious part. So let's just big it up. Beautiful.
I'm adding mango because I love it, but you can swap it out for papaya, peach or nectarines.
I mean, that's already looking very appealing. Time for the dressing.
Squeeze the rest of the flesh from the mango stone and add some lime. Season to taste with low salt soy sauce, and for a final flavour kick, add some red chilli.
And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this on top of the dressing. I'm not gonna dress it yet. Okay, so there's the sunshine salad, ready and raring to go.
Next, some stir-fry rice. Get your pan on a medium heat, peel a thumb-sized piece of ginger, or just scrape it with a knife. This amazing root contains a compound called gingerol, known to have anti-inflammatory properties if you eat it regularly. Now I'm using that all-important brown whole grain rice, which I've pre-cooked and put in the fridge. In the pan, we want a teaspoon of sesame oil, and then go in with the ginger.
I want to coat the ginger in that lovely sesame oil, and I just turn it down a little bit. It's a little bit too fast, but what I want to do is just use a spoon. I want to get all the ginger laid out quite flat, and I want to make it go kind of crispy.
Then sprinkle in a teaspoon of sesame seeds.
Once you get a little bit of colour, just going to go in with the cold whole grain rice and just jiggle that about. You know, don't rush it, just bring it back to be sort of hot, soft, and maybe a little bit kind of crispy in some parts as well, which is nice. Okay, let's check our salmon. That's had about 20 minutes. Look at that. Really, really gorgeous.
Time to plate up. Toss the salad in that vibrant dressing, then it's going onto a platter with the ginger whole grain rice. Top it off with the salmon tail.
Let's get in there. You can just lift it like that. Look at that.
Take out the bone and you're ready to dive in.
The salmon is so juicy, and that green tea just gives it that savoury sort of perfume, which is gorgeous. And the rice,
All this flavour for just 600 calories per portion. Plus, nutritious fish, fantastic whole grains, and a salad bursting with vitamins.
It's full of the good stuff.
When feeding your loved ones, a super simple tray bake is your best friend. So I'm pairing up some potatoes, carrots, and garlicky green veg with some beautiful salmon fillets in a way you've never seen before.
So what I want to do is take your average everyday salmon and make it truly spectacular. A lot of people steam it, roast it, pan cook it. I want to stuff it with the most incredible prawns with a creamy sauce. A little wrap of bacon, it's going to be so, so good, and it's the easiest thing in the world. So the salmon, what we want to do is create little pockets. Get a knife, go to the fat part of the salmon, and just gently rock the knife like that, and then we can stuff it and bring some of my favourite flavours together. So first up, creme fraiche. I've got 2 or 3 nice tablespoons in there, and we can really make this incredible by a little salt, a little pepper, and some Parmesan cheese. No flour, no milk, no kind of whisking. Nice little wodge of Parmesan goes in. Mix that up. If you've got things like lemon around, you can scent that with just the tiniest little scrape of zest. And then prawns, these are like standard frozen prawns that I've defrosted. You could use fresh, of course. And my kids just love them. Massive brownie points for prawns, always. So mix that up. Done. It's fast, to the point, and delicious. And I think you need that when you've got a family to feed and other things to do. So look, take your little bit of prawn here and fill it. Try and keep all the nice creamy goodness inside the fish. You can stuff that with anything you've got to hand. You could stuff it with spinach, crab meat. Now, I know Poppy will like this. I think Buddy should be okay. River probably will kick up about the white sauce, but that's tough. We're trying to teach him. I'm gonna just Give it a little seasoning with salt and pepper. Now, as I was kind of coming up with this, I was thinking what could make it even better? Well, an answer to that is always smoky bacon. So a little thin rasher of, you know, pancetta smoked bacon is nice. And I want to kind of twist and wave it around as I do it. So it's kind of holding that creme fraiche sauce. That, to me, looks stunning. Just nestle it in there with the lovely veggies. All I'm going to do now is give it a little kiss of olive oil, just to say I love you. So the one last thing to do, herb. You could use any herb like sage, thyme. I'm going to go for rosemary, and the thing to do is put a little olive oil on the herbs and just have a proper little rub up. And that starts to bring out their natural oils. So rest the rosemary over the fish, and this is just all going to cook together really beautifully. So there you go. In the oven at 220 degrees Celsius for about 12 to 15 minutes. I want it to be sort of beautifully cooked, but a little bit blushing, and I want the bacon crispy. So let's do this. Okay, with the potatoes, what I quite like doing, because they're boiled, right, shake it flat, put it on a low heat, and let that kind of keep warm, but slowly kind of get a little bit caramelised on one side. It's beautiful. Look at that. That, my friends, is a beautiful tray bake. Not just fit for family, but friends, special occasions. A one tray wonder that you will not regret doing. Truly delicious. And then these new potatoes and carrots, see how I've let them just catch on one side? Look how lovely that is. Can you see how the greens have kind of gone crispy? You hear that? Oh, delicious. So come on, let's have a little cheeky taste before my mob, they're coming. Lemon juice, always a joy. Let's get in there. Can you see how lovely and flaky that is? Oh, yes. And it's sort of blushing still. A little bit of bacon. The cream sauce. It's only like a little tablespoon in there. It makes all the difference. By stuffing the salmon, the prawns are protected, the cream sauce kind of pulls in that little pocket. That bacon renders its beautiful fat, so the flavour of smokiness is there. And then the greens, with that kind of crispiness and softness and the garlic, delicious. Come on, guys! What are you waiting for? Buds, thank you, my boy. Thanks, Pops.
Yeah, there's bacon, there's prawns.
Right, do you like potatoes, River? Point to me which one you want. Which one do you want?
That one.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, give me your plate, and you got some broccoli as well.
Are there any prawns?
Yeah, there's prawns right inside. Here, Pep, that's your one. Have you tried how good these carrots are? Buddy, pick those.
This is one of my favourite ways to cook fish, delivering a perfect lunch or dinner every time, and full of flavour hacks using everyday ingredients. Succulent salmon steamed in the bag with a spicy chorizo and almond and roast pepper sauce. So we're going to buddy up beautiful salmon with chorizo sausage, that fantastic classic Spanish sausage. Let's push the protein to one side. I'm going to make a sauce. It's going to be quick, sweet and delicious. What it does need is the help from a liquidizer. So in there, I'm going to put half a tin of chickpeas, juice and all, red peppers, half a jar of these. They're sweet, they're smoky, they're outrageously tasty. A little pinch of salt, a little pinch of pepper, and a little handful of almonds. Now, you can use regular almonds. These are smoked almonds. They taste amazing, smoky and gorgeous. So we'll whiz that up with just a little swig of vinegar and a kiss of extra virgin olive oil. This will give you the most amazing ruby red sauce. It's that simple. Okay, let's just have a little taste. Oh, sweet and delicious. I want to show you a preparation for the fish. I've got two very typical salmon fillets right there. You want to score into the skin about 1 centimetre, right? And you can do that twice. We can put things
into these little cuts and we can add flavour. Also, it'll help it cook quicker. So win-win-win. I'm gonna season it first, but also herbs, parsley, mint, basil, gorgeous. So as that fish cooks, the flavour from those herbs is gonna go straight into that fish. And then we've got a sausage just winking at me. Just cut it up, little thin slices. But what we love about this is their use of spices, paprika, garlic, herbs. The great thing about chorizo is it really does make everything taste better. Okay, we're gonna make our own little envelope to cook all this. So get yourself some wide tin foil. I go for just over 1 metre and then fold it in half just so it's more robust. So I'm gonna put my sauce on one side. And then if you wanted to spike this with any veggies, asparagus, peas, broad beans, you can. I'm just gonna go for those few little leftover chickpeas. Go in with the chorizo, just scatter it in and around. That's gonna cook in the sauce. And then we'll lay on top these beautiful salmon fillets. Look at that. So we'll kiss it with a little olive oil. And what we're gonna do is make our little tin foil bag. First of all, just bring in the edges. We don't want to have any sauce escaping. A little tight nip like that, nice and tight. And then we've got the last one, 1 centimetre, turn, 2 centimetres. So look, now we've made the envelope. As it cooks, the sauce boils, it steams, it hits the top of the bag, then it rains down. Beautiful moisture on the fish. It gives you the most amazing flavour and succulence. Now get yourself a tray. We won't be getting it dirty, but we'll use it to cook it in. And the lovely thing about this, you can put whatever combo you want together. You can go Asian flavours, you can go curry flavours, you can go like tomatoes, olives, different fish. You can even do chicken breasts. Brilliant. So let's get these in the oven at 220 degrees Celsius, which is 430 degrees Fahrenheit, about 15 minutes, and then I'll show you. So you can see the bag has puffed up. Let's get it out. Oh, come on! What I like to do is fancy it up in a little platter, like this. By the way, clean, no washing up. Happy days. And then get a knife and just break it. And be careful not to burn yourself. So imagine taking that to the dinner table. A bit of excitement. It smells absolutely amazing. Give it a little kiss of lemon juice in those little gaps. Look at that. And I love just to serve it with some nice crusty bread to mop up all of the juices. Let's have a little try. I love it. Every now and again you come across a little bit of chorizo, chickpea. Wow. It's just the most fantastic way to cook fish. A £1 wonder or a one bag wonder, it doesn't matter. Give this a go, you're gonna love it. Hello, you lovely people. Okay, so it's not long now until Valentine's Day. And the question is have you done enough? Are you prepped? Are you ready to give beautiful things to the person that you love? Maybe you could do more? Okay, so look, let me give you a little gift. This is the incredible chocolate pots. Book 2, right? Been with my missus for 25 years. She loves it. Proper, romantic. A chocolate pot is like dense. It's incredible. It's rich. It is like the best expression of chocolate ever, and you can dip stuff in it. Oh, it's lovely. It's just what you need in your life because you want to get lucky. So let's do that. Have you got 4 minutes for someone you love? Have you got 4 minutes? Okay, so come forth. We've got half a pint of gorgeous single cream, organic. Then we need 2 packs. 2 packs, 200 grams of gorgeous chocolate. None of that cheap old rubbish. 70% cocoa solids, right? Give it a spank. So things are already looking up, right? Give it a good old spank. And that's gonna break the chocolate. And then if you do that, then you can kind of come over here. So we don't want to boil this cream because chocolate's very delicate. So as it comes up to temperature, it will start to melt beautifully. It smells amazing already. The second lot goes in, and smashing it really makes all the difference. And then with love and respect, we're just gonna kind of move this up. Can you see it melting already? Look at that. The color starts to change. Oh, it smells amazing. So as that comes up, we want to make it more rich. So 20 grams of beautiful butter goes in. Then I'm going to take a little bit of booze. Take the booze of your choice. So I'm using a little bit of a, you know, brandy. So that's from France, very nice. If you're from Scotland, you can have a little bit of quality whiskey. If you're from Brazil, cachaça. If you're from, let's think of another country, Mexico, good tequila. Oh yes. If you're from Essex, Snowball. No, that's a cocktail, that don't count. Okay, look, come in. You can see now we've brought it off the heat. Super, super quick, right? And then the butter is melting, and that's really enriching it. And then there's one last thing I want to do, other than this lovely little bit of brandy that I'm gonna put in, about 3 tablespoons, 2 or 3, just to give it a nice little kick, right? And then we're gonna go in some egg yolks, 2 egg yolks. That's gonna give it the most incredible silky texture. So then we can go to a whisk and really mix that in. So the point of a chocolate pot, it's not a mousse, no bubbles. Like, it's silkiness, it's delicate, it's super, super sort of decadent. Really, really good. So once you've done that, actually one last thing, really, really important. A pinch of salt. It's really, really weird, I know, but salt opens up the taste buds. It allows you to taste the chocolate even better. So that is now done. Get a nice little spatula and just put it into these cups, like so. Try not to make too much mess. But literally 2 tablespoons is all you need because it's really intense and luxurious. So that is the chocolate pot. So look, you could have it warm, absolute joy, right? Or just give it a little shake and pop it in the fridge for about 2 hours. It's gonna be really kind of unctuous and sort of dense, but really sort of spoonable. So I've got some here that I made earlier. So then the question is how to eat, right? So just picture this, candles lit, curtains drawn, a little bit of Chardonnay, right? I mean, you don't even have to cook a dinner, just go for this, right? Because this is gonna be the trick, right? The big question is how to eat it. Now we could use a spoon, it's a bit too big. Could be a teaspoon, or, oh yeah, we could dunk. So we could go nice little jammy dodger, heart in the middle, romantic, yeah? Imagine dunking that in there, happy days. Or, to keep on the kind of really romantic theme, hobnob, right? You know what I'm talking about, hobnob. Take the whole thing, or do you want to take 2? Your choice. So, you know, you could take the humble kind of little biscuit like that, and then have a little ferret around. Look at that. That is what I'm talking about. And when that goes in there, that is beautiful. So, ladies, gentlemen, wherever the love is in your life, do a chocolate pot, make something for someone you love, put some nice music on, have a lovely night. I wish you all the best. Spread some love, man. There's too much hatred in the world. This could fix anything. Good luck. And I really, really hope you get a bunk up. Lots of love. I'm gonna give you the most incredible chocolate cake. It is so easy, so delicious. It's gonna be crisp on the outside, oozy on the inside, and it's gonna make you happy for sure. Now, here's the thing. There's not as many eggs as usual around, so I've literally rewritten the recipe now without eggs. This is an eggless chocolate tart, cake. It's gonna be amazing. You love it. I'm not sure what it is yet, but it's good. So here we've got 200 grams of butter, 200 grams of chocolate, 200 grams of nuts. Now I'm using hazelnuts, but it could be almonds, it could be pecans, it could be cashew nuts. Then I'm using 200 grams of self-raising flour, 200 milliliters of milk, and then 200 grams of sugar. Right, let's do it. So we're gonna start with the nuts. This goes into the food processor. We're gonna whiz this up. We got 200 grams of chocolate and break it in. Super easy. In it goes. Then we can go in with the butter. Then the flour. A pinch of salt, important. And then 200 mils of milk. And then 200 grams of sugar. So all of it goes in. So, all done. Just clean up the edge. So I am going to just take a little bit of greaseproof paper. This stops the sponge sticking to the tray. Now, if you haven't got this, a bit of oil of any type or butter, right? Give it a good old rub up, right? Like this. And then take a little bit of flour, like that. And you can make your own non-stick tray by shaking this around. There ain't nothing sticking to that. Your own homemade non-stick, okay? Adjusting, adjusting, ducking, diving. That's what we're doing. So, scrumple up this, like that. Unscrumple it. Put that in our tray. So, in we go. Now, like any cake, if you wished to pimp your ride, you can. You can put a few dried fruit bits in there. Sour cherries are particularly good with chocolate, but of course, it could be raisins, apricots, stuff like that. You know, things like tinned pears, delicious, come on. You know, little, flakes of nuts. Just feel that you can kind of embellish this a little bit. So look, get all of that sponge out of there. Sort of just shake it down like this into the corners. Look at that. Equal it out, every last bit, and that, my friends, is it. So that's going to go in the oven. Now, the oven is at 180 degrees Celsius, and I'm going to put it in the middle of the oven for 18 minutes exactly if you want it nice and oozy. And then I'll show you what to do next. But I'll tell you one thing, it's going to make you happy. Yes, it will. Okay, so the 18 minutes are up. The room smells amazing. Come on, look at that. Oh, come on. That, my friends, is beautiful. And if you give it a little shake, can you see the wobble on that? So that is a good sign. So you can see that it's crispy and spongy here and a bit softer and oozy here. Right, let's do this. So as I take it out the tray, it's going to crack and smash up. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. And what you can do is just get a little bit more chocolate if you've got some around. Someone will definitely have a stash. And just grate some chocolate on the top. And that'll just melt in the most beautiful way. Okay, so let's serve it up. Look, it's almost like a hot pudding now. And I just take the spoon like that, get under it. Gorgeous. You see how oozy that is? Beautiful. And then a little bit of yogurt. I think the fresh yogurt with the oozy chocolate is really nice. And then if there's a bit of that old chocolate again, we'll just have a little grate up. So there you go. Come and have a look at this. So look, it's firm there, kind of almost chocolate ganache custard there. Ripple that with a little bit of the yogurt. Come on, Eileen. Oh yeah. It's so easy, and for times like this, that is going to put a big old smile on your face. Happy days. Breakfast or a little dessert bread, chocolate, orange, nuts, crunch, soft, hot. Come on, let's just go for it. So I'm going to give you the easiest, most reliable bread recipe that you can embrace in your life. When you make bread, it's a beautifully soulful thing. It really is therapeutic, it's fun, it's creativity, and I think you're gonna love it. So look, right here, I've got 1 kilo of strong organic bread flour. If you go to any supermarket or deli, if you search out the organic flour, strong, and that's gonna get you somewhere really close to perfection, right? We can make a little well in the center here. And then here I've got 650 milliliters of tepid water. That means lukewarm. When I take a sachet of yeast, and they're the same in all the supermarkets, 7 grams, right? Just open it up, pour the yeast in. It's funny old stuff, but that was dormant and asleep. And now with a little heat, we're gonna wake it up. So in the middle, we'll go in with the yeast, like that. Now, we need to season this flour. So a couple of teaspoons of sea salt. So in we go. And then I'll use a fork just to kind of keep my hands clean to start mixing it up. Bring in a little bit of the sides. So you go from water to a kind of light slurry, then it will thicken up. So look, as the fork does the hard work of the sticky business, like we're bringing it all together, we can start getting a bit more aggressive now and bringing this flour in. You can see it getting firmer. Because there's a bit more water in this recipe, what you get is a lighter, softer, spongier, plumper dough, and it will give you great results. It also means you've got to knead it a bit more to not make it sticky. It's quite therapeutic. Like if you love someone, put it into the bread. If you've got good thoughts, put it into the bread. If you hate someone, put it into the bread. Take out the, you know, like just get amongst it and just knead until all of these little bits are completely clean, right? You're going to do your own washing up by kneading. So I'm just pushing it and pulling it, can you see? And then I'll pull it back. So when I stop kneading this dough, you'll see it kind of starting to bounce back a little bit, like a kind of rubber band. There's some other techniques where you can kind of just throw it down, pull it over like that. But really, your job is just to keep moving it until it's shiny, smooth, and really elastic. Okay, so I'm going to take that bowl. I'm just going to lube it up with some olive oil, just so it doesn't stick. So get the dough in a bowl. Just put a little oil on top. So what I tend to do is just put a wet cloth over here and let it slowly prove. That's one batch made. I made one exactly the same, which has been in the fridge for like 2.5 hours. And this is what happens. And I tend to just leave it in the fridge all weekend. So look at that. That's the same batch. So you can see that this is quite tight. Can you see this is just like dreamy? Look at that. Oh, it's too much. Let's put this in the fridge. So all these little bubbles here, that's carbon dioxide, okay? And trapped inside our dough. Look at this. Oh, come on, look at those beautiful. See these holes? Come and have a look at these holes. Like, they're really fine. And these holes are what's going to give you that sponginess and the texture. So we can just push this back and we'll push the air out. So what I can do is split this bread in half. We'll take this, pop that there for a second, cover it up, put it in the fridge. But you grab a bit, make a pizza, do some little rolls. You can create little dumplings around leftover sort of chilies or bologneses. You can steam them, like you can roast them. So just have this kind of dough in your fridge. It's a cool thing. I'm just going to press the dough out to like the size of A4 kind of bit of paper. We're going to go for a little bit of like chocolate spread, hazelnut chocolate spread that you guys know. Pop it in the microwave for 10 seconds. So look, 10 seconds just helps it be much more kind of spreadable. 4 big tablespoons, I'd say, about 160, 180 grams. So just use that spoon just to see how nice and satisfying that is, just to sort of spoon it around. Best friend of chocolate is orange. Use a fine grater, even on a box grater, and just zest a little orange. You hardly need any really to make a difference, but chocolate orange breakfast bread, come on. So it might not look like much orange, but that will make all the difference. So look, this is proper child's play. Very, very simple to do. So just, you know, confidently take this and start to roll it up. And you can pinch the little sides if you wish to stop the chocolate coming out. Pinch it. You can do it badly, you can roll it, it doesn't really matter. And now you've got a chocolate and bread log, right, with a hit of orange. Take a knife, not quite to the end, and we'll go straight down the middle, like that. And what you'll do is expose sort of texture. So look at that, right? You've layered it, you've laminated it, you've made the everyday exciting. So through flavour combination, but also fantasy, texture, shape. So get yourself a little loaf tin like this, any one you want. This is non-stick, but you can rub it with a bit of oil, no problem. And then literally just turn it over like this. And don't worry about it being, you know, a bit rough and ready. what will happen is, and what is very generous, is that as this proves, it's going to double in size, right? So all those little gaps, all those little imperfections will just kind of sort themselves out. So what I want to do is a little egg wash and some crushed nuts. So egg wash is quite nice. It's going to give you the most amazing colour. So just beat up the eggs like this, and we'll just take some of that egg wash like that and just brush it onto the white dough, not onto the chocolate. Now when you do this, this will make it go golden and gorgeous beyond all belief. And then you can take some nuts, in this case, best friends of chocolate, hazelnuts, but it could be any nut. It could be pistachio, almonds. So put your nuts in there, crack them up. Then when you bash it up, just sprinkle that over the top. And as that proves, it will just wind into the nuts. They'll stick to the top like that, and it will be absolutely incredible. So what you want to do now is just put this in a little corner of the room. You can put a wet cloth over it as well to create that humidity. You don't really want a window open or a draft. And in about an hour, 40 minutes to an hour and a half, that will double in size, right? And when it's doubled in size, then we can bake it. So look at that. Absolutely beautiful. So the yeast is continuing to do its work. It's making it all plump and gorgeous. That's going to be the sponginess, right? We're going to go into a preheated oven at 200 degrees Celsius for 25 minutes. Put it towards the bottom of the oven, and that heat from the oven will give it another lift again, right? So open and gently close the oven straight away, and that's a beautiful thing. So look at this. There's your beautiful chocolate bread. Golden bits, nutty bits. Let that cool down for normally around like 20 minutes, but we're not going to have time today, right? Can you hear the crunch? And then on the inside, look at that. You got the sponge wrapped with the chocolate, the nuts. That is going to be a thing of joy. Let's have a little try. For a breakfast bread, come on. Absolutely beautiful. Tomorrow, I've got some friends and family coming around that I haven't seen for a long, long time. It's going to be so nice to get everyone together. And now it's time for an incredible dessert. Semifreddo means semi-frozen, and it's basically a homemade ice cream. We're going to flavour it with chocolate. Chocolate, 100 grams, goes in a little bowl over some simmering water. We'll melt that down. I'll just crack the eggs, and then I want to take out the lovely yolk. And then a pinch of salt. And that is stiff egg whites. Done. Part 2 is the cream. 200 millilitres in there. And then add 100 grams of sugar to my double cream. We're going to just whisk. And what we want to achieve from this is soft peaks. So, in this bowl here, we have our chocolate. Then I'm going to go in with a regular tin of vanilla rice pudding. And then we can go in with the egg yolks, followed by 2 tablespoons of cocoa. Put the cream in and the egg whites. We're just going to spin the bowl and fold. If you rough it up, it won't have the air, it won't have the elegance. Here, I've got a terrine mold. In here, with that amazing Semifreddo. And let's get that in the freezer as quickly as possible. Get yourself a little pan on a high heat there. I've got 200 grams of golden caster sugar. And we're going to put around 50 mils of water into here. And as that's doing its business, I want to show you how to make a little spiced dust. So what I've got here is 2 heaped teaspoons of icing sugar, 4 heaped teaspoons of cocoa powder. Then I've got a teaspoon of the allspice, cinnamon, and coriander seeds. But the other curveball is chili. So I'm going to put it into a little spice grinder, liquidizer. Oh, it smells amazing. Get a little non-stick tray. Let's give it a little kiss of oil to be double sure nothing's going to stick. And what I will do is rub this across, and I'll pour my praline into that. So now that caramel is nice and dark, let's put those hazelnuts in nice and carefully. Don't touch it. That will be the most amazing, amazing flavour. So that's your homemade caramel. It's that simple, done and dusted.
Good to see you.
So nice to see you. You okay?
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah. I've done most of the important jobs yesterday. So dessert in the freezer, Semifreddo, it's looking amazing. And we can turn that out in here on a nice little platter. Now sprinkle this with our lovely spice dust. This you can either smash up in a pestle and mortar or whack it in a machine. You can finish it with just a few raspberries, strawberries. Who wants some Semifreddo?
How do you put the rice in it?
What rice, Sal?
There is rice.
There's no rice.
No, there is.
Really?
Dad, that is so nice.
Delicious.
Rocky Road. Naughty, very, very nice. I'm about to attempt to make a delicious Rocky Road, the easiest dessert, snack, whatever you want to call it. So what I have here is 500 grams of incredible chocolate. And look at that, just melted. Oh, hi, darling.
Can I have the swirly thing now?
The swirly will come up. So what we have here is a big bowl, 500 grams of chocolate. Now, this is 70% cocoa solids. It could be milk chocolate. It could be white chocolate. You can have fun with it, right? So just give that a little mix, River.
Shiny.
So what we're going to do is equal quantities of melted chocolate and stuff.
When can I have that?
What is it that you want?
I want the swirly thing.
The swirly thing. OK. Can I have half of it?
No. Just let me can have this.
I get that and you get that.
Yeah.
OK. So to 500 grams of melted chocolate, we're going to add 500 grams of stuff. I think the stuff is cool if it's not just sweet stuff. Otherwise, it's sweet on sweet on sweet, and you never have the contrast, right? So yes, we've got marshmallows here that you can put in, and they're cool. Popcorn, unsalted, obviously, go in. You can go through your cupboards, any odds and ends. Things like your digestive biscuits we can put in. As indulgent as a Rocky Road is, you know, it's never going to be healthy, but you can make it full of the good stuff. Dried fruits, nuts, seeds. I personally love things like
Dad,
dried pineapple.
Mix it.
Can you mix it? Yeah, go on, mix it. You like the dried apricots, buds?
Yeah.
Just tear some apricots in there like that. You like that?
Yeah.
So you can go super kiddie, you can go a bit more grown up. If you want to spike it with a little dried chilli, it's quite nice with the chocolate, it works. Go on, crush that in. Don't eat it for yourself, crush it in.
Can I try a piece? I want to show Mum.
Okay, well, don't show Mum, because I'll get in trouble.
I want to see Mum.
You want to see Mum? Okay, see ya. So get yourself a little tray, some greaseproof paper, and then Buddy's going to pour it in here.
Ha! It's a bit heavy.
We're going to pat this down. It's like tarmacking.
It does look a bit like tarmac.
It does look a bit. Right, once we've done that, I quite like just to put a little sprinkling of sesame seed on there like that. Put this in the fridge for about an hour, hour and a half until it goes nice and firm, and then we can cut it up and enjoy it. So, here we have our lovely Rocky Road. And look at that. I love it. Look at that. Oh, here we go. He's back. Perfect timing, young man. Because this is the Rocky Road of dreams. Look at this. Beautiful big old pile.
Dad, can you pour some white chocolate on it?
Yeah. You mean just get on with it, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Get on with it. Dad, can I have one now? I haven't tried it.
So, there you go.
Oh, you want the top one?
A lovely Rocky Road.
Ginger's really nice, actually.
Tell me, like, if you like it or not. Do you not enjoy it?
I do enjoy it. I just want to
Show Mum. Okay. What about you, Puds?
I like it.
And you know what? If you do make a nice little batch, it's really lovely to whack in a little tin and give it away as a present. Rocky Road. Naughty, but very, very nice. Right, who should we give these to?
Me.
I've got something really exciting to share with you. This is a beautiful dessert that I know most of you are gonna go crazy for. We're gonna make the most delicious chocolate mousse. A chocolate mousse normally needs butter, right? We're not gonna do that. We're gonna use avocado. Then we're gonna make proper homemade Easter eggs. And you just need 2 primary things, right? Some chocolate, which I know you love, and some avocado. And this avocado is gonna make the most amazing chocolate mousse, but the shell is gonna allow you to make your very own chocolate egg. This is something you can do this Easter that I know you're gonna love. Now, what's happening right here is a little pan of simmering water, and I've got a bowl on top, and in here, I've got 300 grams of nice chocolate. 70% cocoa solids, just break it up, and just slowly melt this and stir it. And then in a liquidizer here, I'm gonna add the flesh of 2 avocados, okay? We're gonna put the flesh in here. The avocado is also gonna give you the lightness and the elegance that egg whites would give you. So into this liquidizer, we're gonna go in with 160 mils, or a little tin, of coconut cream. Then we're gonna go in with 2 heaped teaspoons of cocoa powder, right? Not hot chocolate, cocoa powder. Then we're gonna use 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. That will sweeten it. Then we're left with these, right? The empty avocado shells. So you get yourself a little brush, take half an avocado, and I want you to generously paint the inside of the avocado. And what we're gonna do is put these 4 halves in the fridge for 10 minutes. The chocolate will firm up, then we'll brush it again. Back in the fridge for 10 minutes, it will firm up and we'll brush it again. We'll do it 3 times. It's a faff, but it's easy. So in the fridge we go. So these have had 10 minutes now, and you can see the chocolate has firmed up. And then we're just gonna repeat the process again. And now, time for the 3rd layer, but to help me, I've got a little guest. Come on, Buds.
Hi.
My best mate. Okay, so if you can have a go. Now, Buddy loves avocado. It's something that he's loved since he was a kid.
Yeah,
Tell him the truth.
I hate it.
So this will be a test. Can chocolate be the mediator of one of the country's biggest avocado haters? And Buds, if you can pop that on the plate and whack it in the fridge, another 10, 20 minutes, that'll go nice and hard. So we've put roughly about half this chocolate onto the avocado halves. Now this other half, we're now gonna put in the liquidizer. So Buddy, if you can take the lid off, my darling, and we're gonna pour the rest of this gorgeous chocolate. Look at that.
Yeah.
A tiny pinch of salt goes in. So Buds, let's get it going. Go on, son. Okay, so in a matter of a minute, look what we've got. Silky, gorgeous, chocolatey heaven. Look at that. Buds, come on.
It looks so nice.
So just pat that down. Why don't you just grab that spoon and have a little try and tell me what you think. It should be utterly delicious.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah? Go and grab Mum, whatever she's doing, just say, come and see Dad, he's got something for you, yeah? Bless you.
Okay.
So, this goes in the fridge. I'm gonna gather together some fruit and I'll show you how you can plate this beautiful egg and mousse together. Okay, so it's time to plate up, but look who I've got with me. My lovely wife, Jules. I wanna show you this. So in here, right, we've got the lovely chocolate mousse. So just, oh, look at that, come on.
Wow, that's so sumptuously silky. So what's actually in it? Just chocolate and avocado?
Avocado, chocolate, maple syrup, coconut cream. Then, check this out. So with the chocolate here, literally just go to the edge where the skin is and you can just pop the whole thing out.
You know what you could do?
What?
Is you could just fill those with little mini chocolate eggs for the kids, and it's quite a nice way,
Yeah.
just like for the Easter egg hunt or something.
That's a really nice idea. So I'm gonna take this half and I'm just gonna press that into our lovely chocolate mousse. So you can have some little fruit in there, some blackberries, some blueberries, so a little bit of blood orange there. I'm gonna take some of this white chocolate, melt it, and then we can kind of go a little bit Jackson Pollock, just get it everywhere. We'll take some of that lovely sour cherry and like just put some of that syrup in there. Get some white chocolate, just put it on a board and then gently, without pushing down too much, just drag it towards you. So you can just kind of tap that over the top and there you go. So what do you reckon, Jay?
Amazing. Yeah, it's so sweet.
Would you like to have a little try?
Yeah.
There you go, my darling. Yeah, it's quite nice because you can pick up the bits of shell and sort of scoop up some of that fruit and juice. Try the mousse, what do you think? Chocolate indulgence?
You are a chocolate freak.
You'd never know that was avocado.
So there you go, guys. That is a really fun, delicious expression of chocolate. Have a go this Easter. And from me and Jules, take care. Lots of love. Happy cooking.